everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Fourtress of, a podcast about movies and TV shows and video games and lots of pop culture nerd things. My name is Oscar, and I'll be one of your hosts today. And with me, per usual,
Uh,
hello?
hello. I think it
Is anyone there?
looks like the Fortress -2 today.
-2 today.
It's me, just me,
It's Alex, everyone.
holding it down.
It's me and Alex today,
Holding it down.
listeners. Yeah. So we're two men down today. Devin decided to take Brian on that trip with the bowler, so they're both they're both MIA this
They'll
week.
they'll be back. They'll be around.
They'll be back. They'll be back in time. But yeah. How you feeling? How you feeling today, man? I know you're a little tired, but how you feeling?
I'm a little tired. It's been a weird week of work. Things are very busy, and I just did a little commercial that was like happened to be overnight. So I'm just like recovering from being a vampire the past couple days. So that's been cool.
Nice. All right. Do you want to get into the first segment of the show?
Let's do it.
News talk.
All right. Our first, this week's a special week, listeners, though. As you can see, we're covering a very special topic in our main topic. Also, because we acknowledge that the DC fandom is happening, but a little peek behind the curtain, it hasn't happened yet. We haven't gotten a chance to see anything yet. We're recording before it happens, so it hasn't happened yet. So we're putting out the main topic in celebration of the DC fandom. And so this week, news is going to be real short. We got one piece of news, and it is DC related. Superman is bisexual. We just found out earlier this week. Not Clark Kent Superman, but his son Jonathan Kent is bisexual.
Very cool. I'm here for it. I didn't know he had a son, but
Yes,
that's very
him
cool.
and Lois have a little baby boy. So in the comic series, Superman, son of Kal-El, they were confirming that Superman is bisexual after he's gonna fall in a relationship with his friend Jay Nakamura, who also is a reporter. So like father, like son, they both fell
cool.
for a journalist.
How
which is funny.
cute.
Yeah. And so I know a lot of people have been talking about this lately. I overall am all for it. I know there are a lot of people that are thinking that, oh, this is just kind of more woke culture, blah blah blah, or there's bigots, obviously bigots that think, oh, this is dumb. Calm down, bigots. Chill out, and also
Leave.
just fuck off.
Just go.
But also there's the other side of the argument that people are thinking that, are they just doing this as like are they forcing this now? I don't think so. I think with the writer who's has come out and said it's progress.
Yeah, progress nonetheless.
Yes,
Better late than never.
and which is great. And also because earlier in year, I don't think it was this year, maybe a couple of years ago, one of the Robins came out as well.
Oh wait, I think I remember that.
Yeah, Tim Drake, which was cool as well. Like you have so many characters, blah blah blah. Just do it.
Why not?
Yeah, so it's pretty sweet. That one of the, or not one of the most powerful superhero on the planet is bisexual. So like, and like people
Yeah,
can
true.
kind of like relate, and just not relate as his powers, but like now you can kind of see yourself in that hero, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what Superman's all about in a way sometimes.
I wonder how the community is accepting it. I feel like it's been positive though. I haven't seen any scandalous things come out since then.
Yeah.
Seems like it's getting pretty well received.
Yes, I believe so. I mean, you're gonna get the nut jobs that are just like, no,
Except for them. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, but who cares? It's like times change, and like books and comic books and media changes with it. Like just that's how the world works.
That's who we are.
Yeah. And like, why not? Yeah, go big with Superman. I know there's some people that would
totally.
like wish that it was Clark Kent Superman, like OG Superman, but it's something, and I think it's pretty cool overall. Definitely way more positive than any kind of negativeness to it. So it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm a fan. Way to go, guys.
Yeah, so pretty awesome. That issue will be coming out in November, so we'll find out a little more about that whole the thing when that comes out next month.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that's our short little DC news.
Super short.
Don't worry, listeners. We will cover the DC fandom, including stuff like the Batman trailer and a whole bunch of other cool stuff that I'm assuming is going to come out. We will cover that next week. Don't worry, we promise.
What are you most excited to hear about, Oscar?
I'm the Batman trailer. I'm excited to see the Batman trailer.
Yeah.
Like that's probably number one. Like I'm super excited to see more from that. And I'm excited to see Rocksteady's new, more from their Suicide Squad game. They're the people that made the Arkham games.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that'll be. Hopefully, they got some gameplay for us this time. Right.
Yeah, because the last time we saw them was at the last DC fandom, and they just showed like a cinematic of the Suicide Squad, but we got no gameplay. So I'm assuming it's been a year. I'm assuming we'll get some kind of gameplay
Maybe
from
something.
it. Hopefully. Yeah, those are probably my number 1 and number 2, just because I don't know how much more filming there is from this stuff. Maybe that and the Flash movie. Maybe we'll get a little teaser,
Oh,
something from the Flash
okay.
movie. Maybe
I'd be
some Michael
interested.
Keaton Batman. Maybe we'll Ben Affleck Batman. I don't know.
Whoa.
We'll see.
Well,
We'll find out.
I'm looking forward to finding out.
Yeah. But yeah, Alex, shall we move on to our epic main topic?
Let's get it.
Oh, hey, Brian and Devin. Man, I knew you guys were excited to see this Snyder cut. So you wanna join me and Alex for this one? I know you're excited for it.
Get on it here.
But first, listeners, little quick history lesson. So it was about exactly a year ago, almost, at the very first ever DC fandom, some of you may have watched, was the first ever teaser trailer for Zack Snyder's Justice League. And it was the greatest day ever. No, but it was very exciting, very cool. And so we thought it'd be kind of cool, kind of fun to venture off into the lands and finally come across this ancient fortress that we had been looking for so long, and what we had kind of yanked out of a vault because we behind the another peek behind the curtain. We may have recorded this when it first came out, and so we thought it'd be a fun time for you all to finally hear it and all of its epic length, as you can see. And so we hope that you really, really enjoy this. And also, we're trying to do a really funny thing right now that we can get to 2 hour mark exactly. Because what a better way to have our longest episode yet hit the 2 hour mark than with a 4 hour long epic movie. So I'm just gonna hang out with you guys for about another 15 seconds. So feel free to skip ahead because timestamps are below. Also, we'll look out for the spoiler tags as well and make sure you know about them. Anyways, here we go. We hope you enjoy it. It has begun. All right, guys. Shall we let's move on to our next segment and our main topic of the week. But first, it's here.
He's gone.
It's finally here. After years and months and days of speculation, the day is finally here, boys. The Justice League has arrived.
He's not gonna like what I have to say about this movie.
Could you hear me?
Yes.
Wait, what'd you say? What was that?
You gotta go through it again.
The Justice League has arrived, boys.
Yeah.
It's here. The day's here. Listeners, if that was very weird intro for you, I have changed into my Zack Snyder's Justice League T-shirt.
He made a shirt for the Snyder cut.
that says I'm an associate producer of this movie.
That's so on the nose, and it's kind of.
I will explain this T-shirt at the end because there is a massive purpose to this shirt. I will explain it at the end before we move on. But I had to do it. All right, so now with that, guys, what this fortress? Where are we? It looks like we're in the fortress of
South.
The Snyder.
The Snyder
Justice
Brian, no!
League. Snyder League.
No idea.
They'll take us off the air.
Definitely was not telegraphed at all.
Alex, I like it. You texted us earlier. I like it when you called it the Snyder League. So I kind of like that.
Snyder League.
Snyder
I like that
League.
too. Yeah.
Yes, listeners, the moment has come. We're talking about Zack Snyder's, not the Snyder Cut. They changed the name. It is Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Dun dun dun.
4-hour, 7-parter of a massive movie.
Is this the
that came
longest
out.
movie to date now? Like what's
Pride and Prejudice.
I don't think so.
Pride and Prejudice. I think it's a 6-hour movie.
Yeah. I mean, that is
Oh my gosh. Really?
it's the longest superhero movie, I'll say.
It was slightly better than the theatrical.
Which is totally fine. We'll get into this. We'll do real quick overall non-spoilers just to get our overall thoughts on it. And then we're gonna dive in because this is a long movie, so we got a lot to talk about. We're trying to make this brief.
Yeah, and then I want to hear like everyone's like initial opinion, and then like maybe after you do the synopsis and kind of talk through the movie, because I just want to see how everybody feels about it. Because I feel like it's not what we expected.
Yeah. I also, before we get into it, I want to know what everyone's history with this movie franchise is so far, because I think we've all seen Man of Steel. I think, has everyone seen Batman v Superman?
Yeah, I went on a journey
yeah.
leading up to this movie, and I watched all the movies in chronological order
Alex was committed.
before Justice League. So I haven't seen Aquaman yet, but I watched everything else. The only movies that I'd seen before and ever had interest in were Wonder Woman, which are still pretty good compared to the rest of them. But I did see the Superman movie way back in the day when that came out.
Yeah, I think we saw that in theaters.
Yeah.
You and I.
I remember being pretty happy about it, but when Batman Superman came out, it just got such awful reviews. I didn't hear anything good about it. So I was just like, I'm not going to waste my time. And then Justice League came out, and that sounded like it was even worse. I'm just like, nah. And just kind of stopped watching anything DC related until Wonder Woman was coming out. I was like, okay, that sounds kind of cool. And I was super happy about it. But I heard they were way better than Justice League, so I never went back until now.
Aquaman is also way better than Justice League.
Yeah.
I can tell you that as well in confidence.
Okay.
Yep.
Good to know.
I've personally seen
Indiana Jones underwater.
all of them for some reason. I don't really know.
You're the most bitter about it.
I mean, as you guys know, I'm not a super big DC fan as a whole. Like, I grew up with Batman and stuff, but outside of that, I was never really a big, like, Spider-Man was who I grew up with. It was the comics that I read and stuff like that. So it just never really resonated well with me. But I still watched them. And yeah, half of them suck, half of them don't.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen all of them, mainly, I think, because of my brother, because he's a big Superman guy. So kind of much like Oscar.
Because he knows what he's talking about, and he knows a hero when he sees it.
Well,
Devin.
I mean, but he hasn't seen the Snyder Cut, Oscar, because he's jaded by this point. So he's actually boycotting it because of how jaded he is by DC.
100% fair.
I was like, Brian, Brian, watch it. He's like, no, it's not even going to be good. I'm like,
I can't.
I feel like he at least owes it to himself to watch this.
I
just
think
because
so.
he's seen that theatrical, he should watch this at least.
I don't think he's wrong in that he doesn't expect it to be much better than the original.
Not getting too far into it.
So I think that after watching Justice League and then the Snyder League, I think that the Snyder version was, for me, overall, a much better piece of film. It was hella long, and I wish that it was shorter, but overall, like, length aside, I think it was a really well done film. The tone definitely lined up to the other previous films coming before it, and it made a whole lot more sense than the other version. And it just seemed like a really impactful, concise film in the same universe as the other films. And it, I think it fit together nicely. And I think it was way, way better than the original Justice League. And it makes me a little bit sad knowing that it's not necessarily, or at least right now, not necessarily going to be canonized for the future movies.
Right.
But we'll see. Maybe they'll change their mind.
We'll go back to that conversation probably at the end after our whole discussion, because the future is a big question mark. Also, that's cool that you like this movie, because you also, after you saw the theatrical cut this past week or whatever, when you watched it, you knew it was like a bad movie, but you didn't hate it.
Yeah, I didn't love it, but I liked it a lot more than Batman Superman, because Batman Superman was just really offensive to me as a Batman fan.
You're right.
I felt like it was just a terrible movie and a terrible representation of one of my favorite superheroes as a kid. I definitely like Marvel overall more, but Batman was like my guy growing up.
This feels like an abusive relationship for you.
Oh my God. Just seeing him like just disrespected like that was just like hilarious and embarrassing and painful to watch the entire time. I feel like he was a more fleshed out character, or not fleshed out, but
he's more classic Batman in this one.
In both versions of
which is by no
Justice
means
League.
meaning he's classic Batman, because he's still far from the classic Batman.
No, which I came to terms with by the time the first Batman movie was over. But it was just that Batman Superman movie was just awful. And so coming into the first Justice League movie from literally the worst movie I've seen I guess anything could have been better. So it was.
It was a low bar.
Yeah, it was a pretty low bar after Batman and Superman.
That's funny. I think watching Batman and Superman might have been a good look for you as far as appreciating the other movies more. Because I hadn't seen Batman and Superman since it came out, and I doubt I'll ever watch it again, to be honest. So it makes me a little more like, and maybe that's just Stockholm syndrome anyway that you're feeling of like, well, it could only get better from here. You know what I mean? Because like, I watched Justice League right before I watched Snyder Cut, and I mean, my feelings are very similar. Like, yes, I agree that it's a better movie. How better? We'll talk about it. But it is definitely a better movie. And I think if I watched Batman v Superman, I probably would appreciate the original Justice League a lot more because I agree that movie is hot garbage. And it's not even just hot garbage, it's boring. I hate boring bad movies. At least Justice League kind of had my attention outside of the talking. Don't care. But like, I don't know. That's interesting to see how much more it affected Justice League for you to see Batman v Superman before it.
And the only good thing in Batman versus Superman was that that one warehouse scene where he went like Arkham Knight.
The Arkham Knight
those guys.
Batman scene. It's amazing.
And then he killed a person, which I like. Like Batman should always kill. He should always kill people.
Batman should never kill anybody.
Time out.
Batman
we have to establish real quick
people.
that we can't spend that much time on Batman v Superman. We have to talk about it because it very much directly leads into at least the Snyder version. Literally, the opening of the Snyder version is Batman v Superman, which is why we need to talk about it. But we'll probably do another episode on this entire movie series, and that's where we'll really talk about that. So I agree with the Batman not killing people, but also he's killed in the comics, and also I'm okay with someone else doing another vision of a character. That's kind of like my mantra with this entire Snyder series is that it's not the Superman or the Batman that I grew up knowing and loving and would love to see on the big screen, but I am okay with a creator doing something on their own and their own artistic vision.
Yeah, new vision.
And it's like the video games Injustice. That's not Superman that I love. He's a murderer and the bad guy. I hate when everyone thinks that Superman has to only be an interesting character or can only write him interestingly when he's the villain. Right. That is 100% not true, but I understand why people feel that way, but that's not true. And so, but like, I still love those Injustice game storylines, even though Superman's the bad guy in all of them. But so I'm okay with the vision that he's gone with, even though I know it's not necessarily what I would have gone with if I were in charge of these movies, Warner Brothers. So we all kind of established that it's not what we would have seen these characters as, and that's kind of our. And this is coming from someone who didn't hate Batman v Superman coming out of it. I understand everyone's issues with it. I also don't give a shit. I hate the fact that they wasted the death of Superman storyline in another movie with Batman v Superman. It's just now you can't kill Superman in his own movie, and I 100% agree with all that. But that's all. My brain kind of died because of it's kind of
he got so upset
over that.
Actually, I think I was giving it a hard time a little bit, but like this was a much better movie than the original theatrical. But I think a lot of that is because
look at that. I'm already turning them around, guys. Look at that.
Well, first of all, $75 million and all of being able to read all the feedback from the first.
He did have that benefit. Like being able to, I would say
it's like being able to get your test back. Like, hey, the teacher's like, hey, here's exactly what you did wrong. Go home, make these fixes tomorrow, and then you can get an A on the test.
Time out.
So like that's and and also here's $75 million to make the changes. But that's neither here nor there. What made this movie better was that I had seen the Aquaman movie and both of the Wonder Woman movies before now, and all of the other single movies.
There was some hindsight
that more deeply fleshed out those characters. So now coming out after Wonder Woman 1984, where you see how Gal Gadot, how Diana has dealt with losing Steve Trevor twice, and she's saying stuff that you gotta be ready to make sacrifices and stuff like that, and she's mature, and she's helping Cyborg and stuff. Like, all of these plot lines are better because you have that because you did the single movies first. Like, so the whole model of doing the Justice League before the single movies was the downfall of DC.
I would slightly disagree in the fact that there was no Cyborg movie before this, and he is an actual character in this movie as opposed to that theatrical cut. Same thing with the Flash. I think those two get some of the best changes in this version than
they carry the movie on their back
compared to the theatrical. But oh damn, I forgot my train of thought. I apologize.
We need to get to the synopsis because we want to get into the nitty gritty. So we need to get into what the movie's actually about.
Oscar's so excited about this.
I got a lot to talk about. I've been waiting for forever to talk about this. So real quick rundown. So this is a weird, unprecedented thing that just happened in cinema, in the fact that we're getting a release of a movie that came out 4 years prior that had a fan petition to have this come out, and now it's coming out, and it's a thing that no one else thought it would happen, and it's weird. So we already have to acknowledge that this is kind of never going to happen. It never has happened, and probably will never happen again.
The mega director's cut, right?
Right. Yeah. And the fact that it is so different in a lot of ways to the other one, and also because that's what I remember my point now, because you brought up how it costs. Yeah, it was an additional $75 million for this new Zack Snyder version. And the one thing I do want to point out as well is that Zack Snyder refused getting paid for this movie with Warner Brothers as part of his deal, and only for the fact that he could have sole creative direction of this project. And the Warner Brothers okay, cool. And so I do appreciate the fact that he wanted this out so badly that he didn't give a shit about getting paid for it as well.
That's really cool.
It's a true artist right there.
Yeah.
I bet he still got residuals.
Hey,
yeah,
let's go.
I do wonder how that works with a streaming service. I do wonder how that works.
Yeah, I don't know.
But so real quick, rundown synopsis of 2021's Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's the 2017 version, but it's much better. It's more fleshed out. There's Steppenwolf is more. It's not the best villain, but he's more of a villain than he was in the past.
God damn, does he look so much better?
He looks. It's kind of
so stupid.
It's kind of sad. Their mother boxes are still involved. Steppenwolf still wants to do it. But there's also the added introduction of an entirely new villain, who is one that most people wanted to see and were anticipating seeing. And also, the climax of this movie is fucking entirely different than the theatrical version. And it's incredibly sad that it's not what originally came out, because I can't imagine saying, yeah, let's do this, and then the studio going, no, that sounds dumb and terrible. And it's like, you've lost your mind. We'll get into that. So basically, I liked it. I seem to have liked it the most. Probably, obviously, I liked it the most out of all of us. That's your plot. Go watch it. It's 4 hours. Let's start with that. Let's start with the formatting a bit. I did not feel the pace of this movie, I will admit, but I was okay. I'm also the one who was okay with a lot of the fan servicey elements. I would obviously you can make a 3-hour movie out of this probably if you cut out a lot of shit and or made a lot of the slow-mo scenes normal paced and not slow-mo.
That's what I was going to say.
There's a lot of slow-mo in this movie.
From the whole movie.
There's a lot of slow-mo.
It'd be an hour and a half if it wasn't for the Zack Snyder slow-mo bullshit.
He really cranked it up. He's like, if I'm getting my way, I'm cranking all the slow-mo I can into this movie.
And then adding in some random
and a
indie
lot of
songs
music
and stuff.
videos. There's a lot of music videos that can be taken out of this movie. But with that, I love this universe, the DC universe, so much that I could have watched 6 hours of this movie. I honestly did not feel the pace of this movie, which I was worried with a 4-hour movie that I would. But I think it's so well paced, and it doesn't rush like the first one, the theatrical version. We're gonna try not to compare, but it's kind of hard because we are in this weird predicament. We're gonna compare ultimately, and so yeah. But yeah, and I like how it took its time developing those characters that we'll talk about, and then still having amazing action beats and sequences throughout it. I thought it was really well paced, and I was honestly shocked when the first part came up on screen and said part 1. Because I didn't know how they were going to do it. I was like, is it just going to be one thing? Is there going to be a weird intermission? And that popped up. I was like, this feels like this doesn't feel like a movie. This feels like an epic of this feels like if he took all of these different comic book storylines and then combined them into a giant tome of a 300 book comic, graphic novel. And I was like, I appreciated that just because it also, just right off the bat, it fit the tone of the movie that came before it. Just in the coloring of it and everything. Yeah.
So I'm going to say, first and foremost, I kind of disagree with the pacing being great. Out of the four of us, I believe me and Oscar watched it all the way through. Alex took some breaks, and you took some breaks too, Devin, right? Yeah. And I'm interested to see how that changed, how you kind of felt about the movie as a whole. I think I probably would have appreciated it a lot more had I maybe sat through it in parts as it was. Because for me, this movie just felt like a really great director's cut of a movie. Not solely that, but I feel like a lot of it was, oh, well, you want to hear a little bit more about this character? Let's get really deep into this character. Right. It's like if this was a character I loved, I'd be hype. Like, yes, I can't wait to hear more about this guy's dad. And it's like, I don't care too much about this guy's dad. Like, Cyborg's relationship with his mother and stuff doesn't really interest me that much. So I'm like, we're spending 45 minutes on this, huh? Like, we're really just going to sit here and do this for another 30. Okay.
Yeah. Barry Allen
That's
talking
great.
about getting a
what I mean?
job. It's
Right.
like his main problem is like, I just need to get a job.
Oh yeah, Ezra Miller's whole story is real goofy to me, but I don't
it's
hate it.
still better than the last one.
It was better. It made sense, and that was the biggest thing. Is it made sense because that's what the issue. And I know we don't want to compare the two, but like original cut of Justice League is like all over the place. So it's just like
it just feels like weird
Gadot.
vignettes of scenes combined together.
Exactly. It felt like a giant trailer where it's like we have Diana walking around like, oh, we're saving the world and throwing bombs up, and the next thing you know, it's like Ezra Miller Barry just like, oh yeah, by the way, also Dad's in jail. I need a job. Also I'm fast. Okay, now I meet Batman, and I'm like, what? Yeah. What is happening? Like. Yeah. So this felt a lot. I did appreciate those parts of it because it did, like you said, it felt like we got to visit each character and sit with them and understand them before we get to the part where you start punching villains. Mm-hmm. Whereas it was very much sprinkled in where they could and just disorienting a lot of the times in the original. So I don't know. That was my big feeling about it that far.
I mean, I liked it definitely watching it. I think I watched it in 2 parts. So I watched long movies like that. It's definitely better. I like breaking it up and having those kind of like, act 1, act 2, like breaks. It was kind of nice because then I could be like, all right, it's a nice clean spot to stop and then get into the next part. So I like that part of it. And I like watching those as like a mini series because it's like, then you can kind of digest a little bit more and then come back to it and be like, oh, I'm kind of looking forward to watching the next part.
Did the 4-3 aspect mess with you guys? Because
yes.
Oh, did it really?
It did initially.
At first, I was pissed. Yeah. I was like, "What?" They had that little warning, like, "Warning, this is going to be in 4-3."
This is Snyder's vision.
This is fucking bullshit. It's like, why would anybody want to do that? But very shortly after, I forgot about it.
It goes away,
and I still wonder why that was the way he wanted.
His reasoning is that he was fascinated by that because, much like you can tell from these movies, he views these characters you don't humanize with them as much and recognize that they're gods. These, including Batman, these are godly characters. And so we said with the 4-3 format, you can get more of the top and the bottom frame in, and so they look bigger on the screen. Because he said this is intended to be viewed on a giant IMAX screen, and that 4-3 format fits a giant IMAX on there like perfectly, which is why he kept it this way. Yeah, which is why it's like, I understand it. I do kind of wish it fit my TV better, but also I didn't notice it like 5 minutes into the movie. I was totally fine.
It did take a little bit of getting used to it, but I read about that specifically for that because I was like, why the hell would he do this? Mm-hmm. But that's where this movie turns like where it's like it almost feels like a circle jerk of artists. Like, look at me, I love art because he was like, I really want to play with the verticality of these heroes, and I'm like, shut up, dude. Like, this feels so pretentious.
I mean, that's what
sometimes.
happens when you turn down the money and say, I'm going to do this my way, and that's what you get to do.
But that's kind of... and I know we don't want to get too far into it because we haven't gotten the spoilers yet, but it's like to be that pretentious about this art and then for it to still be just okay.
Right.
Is like...
Right.
Yeah. I think it was better than okay, though. I think it was a really good superhero movie.
Yeah.
I
don't personally agree. We'll get into it, but I don't personally agree.
Let's go ahead. We're going to put a big spoiler warning on here because I know we want to get into all this stuff. So if you haven't seen the movie, take the day off of work because you're going to need to watch the whole thing. And go sit down, watch this movie in parts, in whatever you want, the whole thing in one go. And then come back and listen to us. So spoiler warning, you've been warned. So I just wanted to say right off the top, because we talked about Batman and Superman, I just did because Alex, you watched the Ultimate Edition on HBO Max.
I did, yeah. That's what
so
they
it's
had
even longer.
Available.
It's 3 hours on there, and I will say that is a better version because one, it gives Superman more to do, and two, there's a scene where Lex Luthor's in a big puddle of goo at the beginning of this movie that you see.
Yeah,
that is not in the theatrical cut, but you saw it because it's in the Ultimate Edition.
I saw everything Zach wanted me to see.
And so that was a pivotal scene where I was like, why did you cut that? Because you see Steppenwolf in the Ultimate Edition. You see Lex Luthor in that
Yeah.
goo talking to him in the 3 mother boxes. And so without that context, I mean, you still understand what happened at the beginning of this movie in the opening, but it is a callback to that scene, which I thought was very interesting because like there's not everyone in the world saw that, so it's interesting that I guess that's the reason why he put it back in so that people have that context that Lex Luthor was talking to him at this moment in time when Superman was dying. But it is interesting. So that's it. All right, no more Batman v Superman. That's basically it. What did we like? Did we like the Superman's death cries waking up them boxes?
Oh my god, I thought that was goofy as hell.
I liked it because it didn't make sense why they woke up
Exactly.
in the first place.
I'm fine with how
Yeah,
dumb the reason
yeah.
is because there's a reason.
Yeah.
Right. At least
Yeah.
they thought about it and did something about it.
Yeah.
I'll accept
Unless it was like in the first movie, like or in the theatrical version where it was like I could see like maybe the bad guys are like calling out to the boxes and they're like found a new way to look for them and they're like, okay, here's where they are. But they didn't really necessarily say that. I just was like kind of I told
You kinda
myself
infer-
that to
yeah,
keep
yeah.
watching the bad movie. But
Mhm.
yeah. I think that explaining it any kind of way is better than not explaining it at all.
Right. Yeah. No, I did. I like the visual of it. I thought it was cool because you also like you see how the world. You see the one in Themyscira, Wonder Woman's home, waking up. You get a lot more Atlantis in this. You get a lot more Mara, and you see that.
Yeah.
So I like how it fleshed out because like overall, that's why I feel about this movie is that this is just a giant epic lore filled comic book movie of a bunch of shit that if you don't understand it, it's just like that. I mean, you're not gonna get it. Like I appreciate how much like it's just like unforgivingly lore based and worldly of
unforgivingly
it.
dense.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
dense.
Yeah, I'm like like that's because like I understand it. So I'm like, but I'm like I appreciate how he didn't give a shit. Just like
Yeah.
I'm throwing it all in.
Yeah.
Boy, did he. And I think that's where it loses. I don't say loses me, but that's where it's like, this isn't meant for everyone. And I don't think it was supposed to be by any means. It was meant for the super. It was meant for the Oscars
Yeah.
of,
I mean, it was-
of DC. and
Yeah.
while it's doing that, it also does offer a lot more clarification for things that should have been the original movie. But as a whole, this was the thing that you watch on the DVD after you watch the movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
Of
Yeah.
Zack Snyder popping up on the screen. Bloop, did you know?
Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
this and this and this. Like, that's what it was. That's
Yeah.
something that the average watcher of these kind of movies wouldn't really care about.
Right.
And that can be for good or bad. I mean, I think it's great that people got what they wanted. That's awesome. Love it.
Yeah.
Would I
Yeah.
recommend it to people that say I like superhero movies? Probably not. Because I don't think that people that like superhero movies to be that dense.
Right.
I think they like it to
right.
be the Marvel formula. You know what I mean? Or like, if you're going to go that route, then you have to like watch
I think if you
it.
don't
Like, you have
know
to, like,
these
really,
characters, then it's a little harder to latch on to. I would agree with that. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's my issue
No,
with
no,
it.
'cause,
The
like,
biggest thing.
You know, I feel like I've enjoyed the movies nowadays where they make it for the nerds, like for like movies like Endgame and stuff, where they kind of went
Yeah.
like because there's enough knowledge out there now where like even the casual fans get it from
Everyone's
like
an
internet
expert
knowledge of
now.
like everybody learns it pretty quick, right? So I think it's better to like get into it. Like that's why Lord of the Rings was, an amazing film franchise because they didn't make it for casual fans. They made it like based on
It was
like, trying to be-
his passion project. He wanted to make these,
Right.
yeah, and he it nearly killed him.
So I feel like they should with superhero movies and stuff like that. We've seen it all before already anyway. So just make it as unique as you can and make it as nerdy as you possibly can because then it's going to make it a better quality at the end of the day. I think. So and that's why I think this one was better than the original.
I think there's a sweet spot there for sure. Because it's kind of like you have to have a floor and a ceiling. You have to have something that's like catchy enough and attractive enough that it will get that, the average fan that's like, I've read a comic book of
I know
Superman.
who
Maybe I'll
Superman
check
is.
this out.
Yeah.
And they'll enjoy it while still having enough there to have substance for people that are really like the Oscars that are like deep down into that
You
lore.
keep
into
saying
that
my
depth of
name,
the
and it
field.
sounds real negative coming out of your mouth.
No,
Brian.
I mean,
The Oscars of the group. The Oscars.
if there's a super fan of the DC universe,
yeah,
it is you. Like,
I got you.
as you drink out of your Superman
As I
cup,
drink
like-
out of my Superman water bottle.
like, it's really
Oscar,
hard because like I'm not that person. So but like if I was super into something like like if the Warcraft movie was actually good and I was really into that lore, I would have been love for it to be like really deep and in depth and like
Right.
talking about things that the average person wouldn't know. But
Right.
do you get much, does it catch if
Yeah.
you do that?
Yeah, that's why I feel like they go astray, right? Is like when they try to water it down for the casual fans, that's when most of these movies suck. So it's like,
I think Marvel's done a good job
I
of
think
doing
that's
a little
what
bit
the
of both.
theatrical
Marvel
cut
has,
was.
yeah.
I think they were like, make an Avengers real quick. You got 6 months, make an Avengers. Let's go.
That was Kool-Aid, but they forgot the sugar. Is what that was. That wasn't even.
Damn.
You didn't even water it down. There's just water.
Oh no.
There's no substance.
Okay, wait.
Oh, you were gonna ask me something, Devin?
Well, I was going to ask you where you got that shirt. Like, how did you actually get the executive producer shirt?
Now, then, I guess, real quick. So I bought this shirt. It's a specifically a Zack Snyder's Justice League T-shirt. And he loves his symbolism in this movie. You can tell he loves his fucking symbolism. He's all about it. So he's got like a bunch of shit on it, and there's a heart in the middle, and then he's got the Roman numerals of the dates. This is 2017, and then the other one is 2021 on it. And on the back it says associate producer, which is like they acknowledge the quote unquote APs of this movie that helped make it happen. Basically, those fans that donated money out of
fans that yelled really loud,
which
for 4 years.
That is a big topic we'll talk about at the end. But I will just say that I bought this shirt because I liked it, and I like this shirt, and I did want to see this movie. I also, because the website that I bought it on, their proceeds go towards the suicide prevention. Yeah,
nice.
And they a lot of the Snydery stuff that for this movie that they raised money for a lot of those proceeds went towards that, because I was gonna wait till the end, but we can talk about it real quick now. Because his daughter Autumn, who at the end of this movie you see it's dedicated to, that's what this is for, Autumn.
Mm-hmm.
His daughter, we all know, took her own life in 2017, and so it was a really nice. It actually like caught me off guard because I was like super hyped when this movie ended, and then that popped up. I was like, oh fuck, I feel sad now. Oh Jesus, now I'm sad inside.
Giving you all the feelings.
I thought that was a really sweet, nice thing. Tagged at the end of the movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so that's why I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy this shirt. I'll pay $30 for this shirt. It goes for a good cause towards it.
Yeah,
nice.
Very cool.
And I'm an associate producer, bitch it.
I thought your money might have actually been part of the 75 million that
yeah.
Yeah, can you put that on your resume?
Yeah, I think so.
Associate producer.
I'm associate producer.
I associated produced Zack Snyder's Justice League. Yeah, me and Zack go way back.
After it came out, though.
Yeah. I didn't pay for that first one. I paid for the second one, the better one. Going back, because we were talking about tone of this movie, and I appreciated. I know people aren't crazy about his coloring. I also would agree, but I'm happy that it fits compared to how bright. The brightness of that theatrical cut is fine at times, but it's so bright you can tell just how much more soundstagey it is. You can see the fake sets more because it's so brightly colored, and it's just like, this is bad no. Bad no.
Cheap CGI.
Speaking of CGI, let's go right into him. Steppenwolf.
Ugh.
He looks so much. It's kind of crazy how much he's not Thanos level, but he just looks so much better. It's really ridiculous.
He had real eyes.
It went PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 4, and I appreciate it. Those graphics in the first one, like it looked like the texturing on his armor is like low res texturing, and like it's really noticeable in the first movie. And I was like,
so
he looks
I can't even remember what he looks like in the first one.
And they kind of give him a humanoid face.
He looks like a gray dude in a dinky helmet.
Yeah.
He
looks like Darkseid looked in this movie.
Oh, see, I like Darkseid. I think he looked great in this movie.
I don't know, man. Anytime there's glowy eyes, I just feel like it just is
That's fair. That is fair.
Whatever, man.
Yeah.
Like you need the eyes. You need real eyes,
Yeah.
That's something that kind of hurts me about this. And I feel like I'm just talking too much, but I feel like I have so many opinions about the way this stuff feels. But it's like, because I'm also comparing to Marvel too. And it's like, they're taking some of the biggest villains that I know in this universe and making them look so generic.
They're all big gray monsters.
Yeah, gray monsters with, a lot of vocalization on my voice so that it sounds stupid.
Fair.
Like it's just a lot of that where it's like, there's nothing iconic feeling about Darkseid.
I wish Darkseid was more purple. Yeah, I will say that. I wish his armor had a little more tint of the purple, but the red eyes, that's just kind of Darkseid, his look. So it's like, yeah, I understand that. But
one gray alien updating the status to another gray alien who is also serving another
I
gray alien.
do appreciate that Steppenwolf looks like an alien though in this movie. Like his horns, because they're horns.
He looks pretty dang scary.
Yeah, his arm. He looks menacing.
He had like 2 extra pinkies or something.
Yeah, he had like 6 fingers on a hand.
I was like, holy cow!
He's gonna touch you with a little extra pinky.
It's like he can really grab those cubes.
But Steppenwolf the whole time, he's just so damn stupidly overpowered. And like, his strength levels were kind of vague. Like sometimes he would get his ass kicked a little bit, but you always knew at the end of the day that he was going to win every fight that he was in. But it's like, I don't know. I did not like him as a villain.
Speaking of that, because this is towards the beginning of the movie, that Wonder Woman, not Wonder Woman, but like the Themyscira, him against the Amazonians fight is so much better in this movie. And it's longer. For one thing, this goes back to the tone. It's sadder. When she has to make that sacrifice, because in the theatrical, they just knock the pillars down and the gate shuts and then they're off on the horses. But in this one, she takes a moment because it sinks to the bottom of the fucking ocean and they all die. I was like, oh my God, I was not expecting that.
That was like, okay, so that to me, I got to say this now, okay? The humans had the best idea for the box. They just buried it.
No, they didn't. Bury it in a 2-foot hole? Are you serious?
It wasn't even 6 feet deep. They buried it under like
that is the
3
worst
acorns.
They found it last, though.
No.
They found it last.
Hey, yeah, exactly, boys. Who found it last?
The Nazis found it.
They found that one last. You know why? Because they put it in the forest and they walked away and they all forgot where it was. Because then they wouldn't be able to catch the scent on you. But like to have it in the middle of a room with 500 people looking at it when y'all got bows and arrows, and then the Atlanteans should just be sitting it in a tower. Obviously, it's gonna get stolen when they come back. That's the dumbest shit ever. Just bury it somewhere to at least make them have to do like an excavation project.
If you're gonna bury it deeper than 4 feet at least, please.
Bury it deeper than 4 feet for sure. True. But bury it. Don't have it in the middle of a room ever.
Yeah, they kind of had it like in a museum, just like hanging out.
Yeah,
it wasn't even locked up.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like when you have a giant gym in a vault, but like you have a bunch of people protect the vault and tell everyone where the vault is. It's like,
right.
Well, I at least know where to look for it if I need to.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And also, I'm super overpowered. Have a giant axe that I can swing like a fucking baseball
player.
He
is just chucking horses left and right in that scene. It's amazing. Oh my God. Brutal. And he like flexes the arrows off his armor. Like I'm just like, he's just so much cooler in this movie. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
That and then I love that line when he says, "You'll bathe in my fear," and the queen says to the other Amazonians, she's like, "Show him your fear," and they all just scream, "We have no fear." I was like, oh, that's just kind of a badass moment. Like Zack Snyder loves like crap all over his slow-mo, but there are times like I could watch those Amazonians with those hammers knock down pillars for hours. I could just watch them knock down a building and pillars for hours on end. It's just amazing.
Excavation crew.
God, they're just so awesome. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, that was a really great sequence.
Yeah, they definitely get a lot of love, the Amazonians in this movie.
Yeah.
They get a lot of
love.
They're
dope.
And it shows where tone just makes a lot more sense. And it makes
yeah,
you
like
feel
I was not
things
expecting to feel sad in that scene.
Mm-hmm. I didn't care the first time. I'll be honest. I didn't. No, I'm talking about the original one in the original cut.
They still like sacrificed.
Yeah, but you never even see that tank go into the ocean. It's just because it's paced so quickly that you don't really get a moment to breathe. You kind of
forget about it. You're like on to the next moment.
Yeah.
But it definitely helped hanging on that moment for a moment longer.
Yeah,
as it should. I mean,
and it makes them running away on the horses makes more sense as well, because in theatrical. He just busts out of that temple with the axes in like 2 seconds, and then he starts chasing them. Whereas there's a moment to linger. And it's like, oh, that's what this was initially supposed to be. Okay, that makes a little more sense now. That saying, that makes a little more sense now, is kind of another mantra for this whole movie, where it's like, oh, okay, that makes more sense now.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
My next big thing for me is the Age of Heroes flashback, where it's Darkseid instead of Steppenwolf as opposed to the theatrical.
Oh yeah,
one of the best scenes in that movie.
That was like cool.
maybe my favorite part of the whole movie. She's like, the old.
You get a fucking Green Lantern, which is in the theatrical, but he just looks cooler. And,
he gets wrecked.
Was that Zeus?
Yeah, the big oily buff man.
Is it Zeus and Ares?
It was Zeus, Ares, and Artemis with the bow.
No, it wasn't Ares.
Yeah, it was Ares.
It would have been cool if they had the Ares.
That was Ares. Well, Ares is the one who takes out Darkseid. Yeah.
He had the helmet from Wonder Woman.
It wasn't like Mr. Neville looking.
It was homeboy professor from Harry Potter. Yeah,
it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean it was his CG face. I don't know, but that's not his body. But yeah, it was him. That's Ares.
Same character.
Yeah,
he's not that high. Like, come on.
Either way, that
is one of the best scenes in the movie. That is one of the best scenes in both the theatrical and in this. But it's just made much cooler by it being Darkseid.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense. I mean, was Darkseid even mentioned in the OG
He is
version?
mentioned once. He's never seen. But Steppenwolf just says...
I thought he shows up at the very end.
Nope. There's no Darkseid in the theatrical. Steppenwolf just says for Darkseid, and that's it. That's
Maybe
the only
that's it.
mention of Darkseid.
I
Yeah.
could have sworn that they showed his face. I don't know.
Lame.
This is a bit of a nerd tip. He's actually not Darkseid in the scene. He's his like former form before he becomes Darkseid. His name is like Uax. I don't know how to say it. It's Uxas. That doesn't matter, but I'm just pointing it out because I'm a huge loser.
Interesting.
But yeah, no, that scene is still awesome. This is where I get into one of my big points. It starts with the scene. The music of this movie, for me, is so much better than the theatrical. So, quick story. Not only did Zack Snyder get fired off the theatrical and Joss Whedon replaced him, so did the composer who had worked on Batman v Superman with Hans Zimmer. He's kind of like Hans Zimmer's protege, and he was going to do the Justice League all by himself this time. And he also got fired. And then they brought in Danny Elfman, the guy that did the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies and also Avengers Age of Ultron. But that music sucks. I'm not in that theatrical. I will say there are bits and pieces that I love about the music in that theatrical, but after looking back and thinking about it, it's none of Elfman's original work for that movie. He puts in the Batman '89 theme that he wrote in 1989 for that Batman movie. It's in that theatrical cut. He puts the original John Williams, Christopher Reeve Superman theme in that theatrical cut, it's a good moment. And then there's the Flash moment when he's in slow-mo when they're fighting Superman. And it's so good. I love that music. But then thinking about it, it's literally just the Spider-Man theme again. He just redid Spider-Man again. If you go back and listen to the two of them, listen to the Spider-Man main theme and go to that scene, it's basically the same shit. So I'm like, oh, that's why I like all this stuff that's good and the rest of this stuff is just crap and I don't care about. And it goes to this point in this scene in the movie because they have a theme now. The Justice League themselves have a musical theme, which I think is very important for me because I love musical scores. I have the Man of Steel score on vinyl. I love it. It's so good. I love a musical score. And so it's really important because that was one of my biggest disappointments out of the 2017 one was the Justice League didn't have a theme. And I was like, how can you not have a theme? Like, you know what the Avengers theme is. Without that Avengers theme, like in that Endgame moment at the end, that moment changes, at least for me, drastically without that music behind that big moment. Spoilers for Endgame if you haven't fucking seen it. They all come back.
You thought that movie was long. Wait till you see Zack Snyder cut.
Right. And so you first hear it in this big, epic, awesome moment, and I was like, I was happy just after that. That was all my big musical moment. It was they have a theme, and he plays it like a million times.
I think that's the polish that just makes a movie feel more, and that's why the original one feels so rushed because it doesn't feel like anything.
It feels
just
generic.
Kind of feels generic. Yeah, generic is the word that I really use for that. It's like I came back and not feeling like I got anything more from the original, and then this one I'm like, I could be excited to see more of, like, even though I didn't love it, I saw things that made me interested in the universe that I probably was not interested in the beginning. And the music was one of those things that kind of helped do that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Darkseid's kind of an idiot in that scene. Real quick before we move on from that scene. Man, there's no like autopilot on any of those ships. You just completely forgot where you were. Why couldn't he I will point that out. Why couldn't he come back to Earth? He forgot. He got knocked out and none of the other minions knew where he was. They was like, "Oh, sorry, boss. We didn't keep track. We didn't put a tracker on that planet, so we're not going to be back for thousands of years."
You'd think that like people that conquer 10,000 worlds or whatever they do would maybe remember the one time they got their asses kicked.
Right? You'd think so. That's a weird plot point.
They just wiped it from all their memory or something. Like, all right, we're never going back there.
He was too embarrassed.
Don't speak of this Earth again.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. But I don't know. Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Yeah. Flash and Cyborg, I wanted to also big point to talk about because their characters I feel like are the ones that changed the most in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly, let's start with Cyborg and the fact that he gets more than 3 lines in this movie, and he actually gets to do something in this movie.
My man was like a main character, actually.
I agree that he is the heart and soul of this movie. Like
he's the main character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it feels like it feels like a movie about him.
Yeah,
and I feel like that's how it should have been.
It was like a true origin story, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
without having his own movie, which was great.
There's a few things with Cyborg that I wish that they'd kept from the one thing that they had in the theatrical that was superior was that he said booyah.
Oh god,
he did not say that here.
He said it kind of stupid. Booyah.
Yeah, it's Cyborg.
He didn't want to say that, and Joss Whedon forced him to say that.
He was very
right?
anti.
He hated saying that.
I didn't hear that. But then he also like took the more like the cyborg shape at the end of this one, where at the end of the theatrical. Whereas this one, he stayed in that dumbass alien thing. And first of all, they shouldn't call him cyborg. They should call this dude half head because he's only half head of a human. The rest of his body is a robot.
That's
okay,
true.
He's not a cyborg.
That's fair.
But that being said, I just hope that he'll like be less mopey next movie and like kind of be more of that lighthearted.
I mean, if Ray Fisher has a job, I don't know if they're doing anything with him anymore.
They might write him out, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I hope he comes
just
back
so grumpy
if he wants to.
What? Yeah, I agree with that. But I think I think he was a phenomenal actor in the movie and what he did. So I would love to see him back, but I honestly don't know what his future holds. Sadly, I think he got shafted in that theatrical cut. And I think he has those gripes against Warner Brothers. I think they're pretty valid after seeing this version of the movie. I think I'd be pretty upset seeing that theatrical cut afterwards and be like, I'm not a character in this movie. You should just take me like it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope he gets a second chance or something. I don't know.
They really watched Justice League 2017 and then really just did what they did to John Boyega too. Like right after this happened. Like, come on, bro.
Right.
Stop shafting the black actors, dude. Put them in there.
Yeah.
Put them in there.
Yeah.
Stop.
I think the upgrade for Cyborg is just so much better than what it was.
Yeah.
I did laugh at or not laugh. I was a little creeped out when he's standing outside that ATM in the rain because I thought he was still in the dream world watching her. Nope, he's really just standing 2 feet from her, staring at her in that hoodie in the rain, watching her get that money out. I'm like, oh, dude, walk away! You're so close.
People have been shot by cops for less, bro. You need to get out of there. Like, stop.
I think they definitely fleshed out him as a hero more because I think they with that whole scene of like when he's going through that stuff. Like Cyborg is very powerful. He's OP as hell. Powerful. He's basically like Ultron, kind of like he can hack into anything. And
he was carrying that squad.
Yeah,
if they, I don't know how they would have done half the stuff they were supposed to do if it wasn't for him.
Without him in the Flash, they're fucked.
The Flash also was a huge part of everything, which I kind of love too because I never think of him as like that kind of a hero, like a strong hero.
Yeah.
But like he was pinnacle in the entire movie.
Flash wasn't really that important in the theatrical. No. I guess he helped bring back Superman.
You want to know what he does at the end of the original one? He saves one Russian family. That's all he does at the end of that fucking movie. That I realized that is the only reason they introduced that element into the movie because they needed the Flash to do something.
They took out the whole thing in the Snyder version.
Yeah. Oh no, they're gone. That was because he said there won't be a single second of any of the Joss Whedon's reshoots in this movie. So none of that is in that movie. All of the Joss Whedon stuff is cut out, which made me realize upon liking the theatrical, most of the stuff that I liked in that theatrical was Zack Snyder stuff.
Yep.
I'm like, oh wow. I was like, maybe there's a scene but it's like, no, most of the shit I really enjoyed was all Zack Snyder's.
That's very fair.
I think his dialogue was definitely a lot less cringy this time around, and they made his running form look a little less goofy, but then sometimes it was still pretty goofy.
The dumbest thing.
I think it was goofier because it had more of his backstory, like seeing him at the dog store, like trying to get a job, and then he freezes time for
music video number 1.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna just flop my arms around here and let me just poke my hole through the window. But it felt real to me because he wasn't like a track star who became super fast. He was just like a nerd who happened to be super fast.
Right.
I thought that was really authentic.
That don't mean you gotta run stupid though.
He doesn't know how to run. He's just doing his thing.
I think he runs worse in the theatrical. I think he runs a little better because they don't get as many wide shots of him running as much in this one, so you don't see his legs.
That's why it doesn't look as bad. But okay, the Flash standalone movie, it's going to be him and Usain Bolt, and it's going to be Usain Bolt teaching him how to actually run and
teaching him how to run.
That's going to be it'll be like a buddy cop movie, and Usain Bolt is actually like
that sounds great,
almost as fast.
Yeah, if he just had a little bit of training, he could go back in time like nobody's business.
I do appreciate how because like Snyder, like a lot of his Snyder stuff, he takes a punt and he does something different. And they instead of just having him run traditionally, he's more of like a speed skater. He's like on ice skates in that. So I'm like, okay, it's goofy as fuck, but I understand it.
Yeah,
maybe the arm movements need to change.
It's his arms. His legs are fine. It's his willy dilly little arms flailing around.
Yeah, going back to him as a character though, at least this time around he wasn't just like there for just the comedic relief. And like last time around, I remember cringing so many times every time he did a joke.
You didn't like the brunch stuff from the last one? We complains about brunch over and over again.
Yeah, that wasn't. That was
Yeah.
definitely not my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who they hired to write some
Joss
of those jokes
Whedon.
they were off of. So I like
Joss
Joss
Whedon.
that. I like that they cut a lot of that out. But then it also made his jokes feel more impactful because they
Yeah.
weren't sprinkled in
Yeah.
every 20 minutes
Yeah.
like it was in the original
Yeah.
movie. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, he made it a little bit lighter where
Right.
it needed to be a little bit lighter because it was getting kind of heavy. Like,
Right.
it hit
Yeah.
better. And I
Yeah.
appreciated
One
that.
thing I will say, like, that he did hold true from what he said way back. Like, he always intended Batman v Superman to be the darkest of these three films. If you go Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and Justice League, he always intended that to be the darkest. And I can see that because this one is much lighter. And I do appreciate how it isn't just joke after joke after joke. There is a super sweet, like, just character. There's more character moments in this movie. And there's a really awesome moment between Flash and Aquaman where it's after Victor, spoiler, his dad dies. Very different from the theatrical. Where he's like fixing the big whale ship, Batman's big whale, and Aquaman goes, is he okay? And Flash, or he's like, where's Victor? He said he just wanted to be by himself. And then Flash asks him, I thought you didn't care. And he goes, I didn't say that. And he just walks away. There's no joke.
Yeah.
It's not a funny moment. It's just a nice character moment. And I was like, I appreciate
Yeah.
that it doesn't have to always be a pun.
Especially with characters like Aquaman.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Who
are like
you
very
assume.
not serious characters.
Yeah.
Also, saying that Victor's dad died is putting it lightly. Victor's dad was disintegrated.
Should we talk about
Turned into some soup.
Yeah, that man got turned into meat.
There was a lot of like kind of gore in this movie, like in the climax where like Superman
There was
gets
a
like
lot of
I will
blood.
say this movie's rated R.
Obliterated?
I don't know if we all knew that. This one is
Yeah.
rated
Oh,
R.
okay.
Did
I
not
thought
know
that
that.
it had to have been, but I didn't actually know.
They were
Yeah.
chopping off limbs and heads
I mean, I'm
and
pretty sure
murdering.
Wonder Woman killed every single person in that building in the opening of her the movie.
Ooh, damn.
There's like dudes,
Yeah.
blood's brains being splattered on the walls. I mean, she disintegrated Homeboy in the hat at the beginning of this movie anyway. So
Yeah, those damn bracelets.
And then she
dude.
turns around to a little girl. And then she turns around. She's like, "You can be anything you
Can I
want to be."
straight lying to kids.
Ma'am, I can smell that man's organs like over there. That is a pile of guts.
I can.
Don't look at that. Don't look at that. Hey, hey, you girl, you're powerful and strong. You can do anything you want in this world.
Yeah,
You can do that too.
I can understand how goofy that is, but I do like that was kept in where she's like it's a nice empowering moment. For like for
yeah,
little
sure,
girls
for
looking
sure.
out.
It was cool.
It is cool,
Yeah,
but it is
yeah.
very
That was
funny
great.
after she's just blown up this man.
Like in real life, if that happened, I'm vomiting. Like, what is that? Oh God! I just watched him be murdered. I'm a 6-year-old child. Like, what the fuck?
Right.
Oh, God. I didn't even think about that. That's
And the little
hilarious.
girl smiles back like, "Oh, thank you for saving me."
Hey, at least they're alive though.
I shit myself, but it's okay.
I want to go back to the Flash real quick. I do like how his powers a little more. I like how they use him for one thing a little more in this movie. I like how in that first battle they have underground under the river or the harbor.
He beats somebody up actually instead of just getting people out.
Yeah.
He like does a couple fast motions
Yeah.
And he
pushes
does that
somebody.
awesome shit where he crushes all the rocks in the people.
Tips the sword back.
Yeah, I was like,
Oh, yeah,
that's
yeah,
cool as
sword.
shit. Like he spins away around all the people that are about to be crushed by all that debris, and it's like that was new. That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually gets to do stuff.
The one thing that stuck in my mind from that scene was like when they park the thing and then they're like, all right, we got to walk up these set of stairs. And then they all just look goofy as hell, like fully
Just walking.
suited, just walking up the stairs. And like the Flash is like the last one in line, like walking at normal speed.
Right.
Like, behind
I think the same thing whenever they get to
It does make me like, Barry, pick these people up and move their asses. Why are you walking? Like, come
Yeah.
on, man.
Yeah. I was like, aren't they in a hurry? Isn't time of the essence right now?
And they're just kind of like strolling up the stairs.
Every
like,
time they get into a ship or something, I'm like, really?
yeah,
You're just gonna get to a ship?
Yeah.
And I was just like, I know, like Batman, you gotta, whatever. But like, you really get into
Yeah.
a ship
they're
right now?
going at old
Yeah, I feel
Batman's
like
pace.
all those moments were just for Batman because he's like, hey, come on, guys, like just walk with me, please.
Right.
We
I got
gotta
$1
do this
billion. I
together.
spent so much money.
I
on
will
this. Guys, get
say,
in.
Batman is still, he's less of a waste in this movie.
Definitely less of a waste.
I kind of took it as because everyone at the end of this movie, this is a big point for me, is they actually have a plan at the end of this movie. Whereas in the theatrical, there is zero plan. Batman's like, I'm gonna get all these heroes together, and then I'm just gonna go on a suicide mission and ignore everyone that I brought together. And it's like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? Whereas at least in this, they actually have a plan. Everyone has a job. And even though Batman is just like, he barely does anything, he just kind of shoots people because whatever. I wish he did a
He
little
does an
more.
all-out brawl for 40 minutes.
Oh my
while
God.
everybody else does real stuff.
I love how they talk about that gunship the whole time, and then Cyborg is like, she just wants to fly, and then Batman immediately crashes it like 5 seconds into the dome. Like he's just like, he just goes straight through the shield, and they all come up on him immediately. And the ship's falling apart. He's like, oh, I gotta get in the Batmobile.
I mostly took this as like, if everyone has a job, Batman's job was just to get the League together. That's what I kind of took it as. So I was like, okay, fine, whatever. He's still the weakest and he doesn't do as much, especially with his choreography. Because it's like Devin, you brought up earlier, that Batman v Superman scene is amazing. It's like Arkham. It's like Arkham. And the choreography for this with Batman is like just so much weaker. I'm like, what happened? Did y'all just forget that he was around? Whatever. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of characters. So I guess the balance is askew. Whatever.
Yeah.
That's pretty much Flash changes. I do like how he runs out of his shoes in that opening, though. I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
And then
that was
he
cool.
busts the glass and shit. I was like, damn, you really fuck up a lot of cement and a lot of driveways, don't you? Jesus. And you get Iris. So that in the comics, she becomes, that's his love interest who he saves. That's Iris West. She was cut out of the theatrical.
Okay.
She is actually coming back in the Flash movie, which is cool. That actor, she is going to be coming back, which is pretty cool. The next, or at least for me, big moment that's completely changed is that nightmare vision in the middle before they bring Superman back, where you see the Flash, the potential future of Darkseid killing everyone.
Yeah. I was wondering
he
about
gets
that.
to use his Omega beams out of his eyes, which is pretty dope. And then that scene slightly changed because, and you see, it's very weird because we all know that there's that weird nightmare. It's like a continuation potentially of that nightmare scene from Batman v Superman, where Batman's in the desert and Superman's evil. And so this is just more of that, which Snyder always wanted to do. So, okay. And I like how you see the elements that he's talked about in the past, where you see Superman holding Lois Lane dead in his arms. We haven't even talked about Lois Lane, but it's fine. Because in this movie, there are many clues that she is pregnant. And so that adds a little more weight to Superman holding the dead corpse of a pregnant Lois Lane. And so you understand how Darkseid could kind of take over his mind with the anti-life equation, which we haven't brought up because it's a MacGuffin, whatever, who cares? It's a comic book element. It's goofy as hell. It's literally just to take over the world and people's minds. And that's how he takes over Superman's mind and becomes evil blood killer Superman. That scene was cool. That was total fan service, but I loved every second of it.
Yeah.
And I like how at the end, when Victor sees it, he says no. And the Flash goes, go? And then he just takes off. Whereas in the theatrical, they're like all on the side, like, we're going to bring Superman back, except for Wonder Woman, which in this movie is different. Wonder Woman is on the side of, let's bring Superman back. Whereas in the theatrical, she's like, that's a bad idea. Let's not do that.
Interesting. I didn't catch that.
I do like how there's more like stressfulness of that scene because Victor says no. And I was like, oh, that changes this scene much more than what it was before.
Yeah,
definitely.
That Superman fight when he comes back and just beats the shit out of the Justice League is still amazing.
Yeah,
still so gnarly.
He proves that you don't really need a Justice League. You just need Superman.
You just need Superman. He's the Goku of this series.
He's
You got
the
a bunch
best.
of boys that was like, yo, you could beat our ass. But wait till Superman gets here. It's like, okay, fair.
I love it. It's so good.
My favorite part is I love just how he's almost as fast as the Flash.
Oh.
So like the Flash is like running, he's like, doop, 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 doop.
Yes,
And he just like looks over there, and I'm like,
That eye
the
shit.
side eye
oh
is
fuck.
like, oh my god. I think that was my favorite part of the original too. It's
Yeah.
just that side eye, just like,
I was like,
turn to look at him.
he can see me.
That is a look you never want to get in your entire life. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like I know Henry Cavill's a nice guy in real life, but man, if you looked at me like that, I'm pissing my pants.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, I'm sorry. Whatever I did, I don't even know you. I'm sorry.
And then him and Wonder Woman just headbutting the shit out of
Oh
each
my
other
God.
for a few
I love
minutes, and like
That felt very
and then he
anime.
Pile drives her.
He
into the
just
ground.
sidesteps the Flash into Aquaman out of his way as he runs by him. He's like, peace, whatever.
Oh god, overpowered.
And then Batman's sitting there like it's kind of like the the Mike Wazowski meme where he has two eyes. He's just standing there like it's kind of like Batman's just standing there like that, like hey, please don't murder me immediately.
Right. And he does. Like, that's different. That their interaction is different from the theatrical, where he straight up just heat visions Batman right at the get-go. It's like, oh shit. Oh, good thing you had those
Yeah.
gauntlets
You wanted
that
to kill
Albert
this man.
made. All right.
Right.
Sorry.
Did they cut the line where it's like you won't let me live and you won't even let me
Yeah,
die?
they
Because
cut
that
all
was a
that.
cool line in the
They
original.
cut that, and
that.
also
Alright.
the "Do you bleed" that Superman says back to Batman. They cut that as
Mm,
well. Speaking of that scene, because
yeah.
that was a big point. Quickly, let's talk about there's no mustache gate in this movie.
Yeah.
Mustache gate?
Yeah, Alex, are
Overblown.
you aware of that? How in the theatrical, did Henry Cavill's upper lip look at all very weird and disgusting to you?
In a theatrical version?
They CG'd his mustache off his face in that movie.
What?
So all right, we'll try to make this brief. He was filming Mission Impossible Fallout, where he had an amazing mustache in that movie. And so,
Oh,
but
man.
then they came back to had to do reshoots for Justice League, but he still was filming the other movie. He was contractually obligated to keep the mustache, and Warner Brothers asked Paramount, "Hey, can he shave the mustache, and we'll just pay you guys $millions of dollars, and we'll CG him a mustache in your movie?" And Paramount said, "No, fuck you." so they had to CGI his mustache off in every reshoot shot scene for the theatrical cut. Do you remember the opening of that movie with the weird cell phone footage of the kids talking to him? Go back and watch it. His upper lip looks it's nightmare fuel.
Wow.
It's
interesting.
rough.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it in the original, but
Oh, I was looking, but to be fair, I was looking for it. I was like, "Where's that fucking mustache?
Yeah,
Where's
yeah.
it at?"
That's hilarious.
Oh, I'm looking at pictures now, and it does look
It's
hilarious.
Just the opening scene it's gross. It's weird.
Oh, like they didn't even do it right. His lips like wrong.
It's
Like it's
weird.
not.
It's so weird.
Oh, that's super funny.
But yeah. So luckily with this, there is no mustache shot because all of that is out, which is just it's a nice visual, and you don't have to be distracted by man's upper lip. It's so weird.
Sorry,
That
the
brings
pictures
us-
are so goofy.
Mostly, one of the other biggest changes of the movie, Cyborg's dad dies, whereas in the theatrical he does not. I was like, that is a
Wait, he doesn't
massive
die at all in
change.
the original?
No.
Nope.
And like,
Whoa.
why didn't he just lock the door with him?
You
outside?
see him running out of the room when Steppenwolf shows up. And so I took it as he was going to leave the room, and then Steppenwolf was there, so he freaked out and just backed up and shut the door on him. So I understand that weird plot point, but I took it as that.
It felt very Man of Steel, where it's like, "Dad, you could just not die."
Right, yeah.
And they're like,
Yeah.
"But I have to."
It gives
Yeah.
No, you
Cyborg
didn't.
more sadness, I guess. You know.
Mm. That man's life
Yeah.
sucks.
I do like how his
Yeah.
death did mean something, though. How he basically put a tracker on the box. I did
Yeah.
like how they
Mhm.
Yeah,
twisted
at
that.
first I was really pissed. I was like, he is just gonna like get the cube in a second. Like whatever
Right.
you're gonna do is not gonna do anything.
Mhm.
So
Right.
I was glad to find out that he like it actually
Yeah,
mattered
did
and
something useful.
and
Yeah.
furthermore, it made a lot more sense how they found the base because they like
Yeah,
used
Right.
he
Yeah.
In the theatrical, I don't even remember what they're
yeah,
just
I was
like.
just like, wait, did I fall
Yeah.
asleep? How did we get here?
I think they just find it.
they just like, oh,
Yep.
and here's the final boss.
Yeah. And that's another thing where it's like, oh, that
Pretty
makes
much.
more sense now. I understand now.
I feel
Yeah,
like I can
yeah.
never watch the theatrical version. They'll just be so convoluted now. Well, so much
Yeah.
more convoluted.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, why would you ever?
Yeah. I probably
But-
won't ever watch that one again.
And I mean, after the climax, why would you? Now that's. Can we get into that?
Yeah.
Are we allowed to get
Yeah,
there?
let's
that's
go.
So much,
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
better.
I kept talking all the time about what I didn't like about the movie. That last 45 minutes is so
It's
fucking cool.
So good. Yeah.
So much cooler than the one previous to that. So much cool shit happened when
Ugh.
Superman shows up and just tanks that fucking axe
Oh.
and then says whatever the hell he says.
He says,
Oh,
like,
not
man.
He
impressed.
took his damn time getting there, though. He
He
had to get his
He's
brain.
Goku. That's what Goku
His
does.
brain was broken. He
He's
had to
like,
fix it.
Hey, let me go talk to my mom. Oh, I'm gonna go hang out with Alfred for a few minutes. He's like, "Hi, Alfred. I know this is Bruce Wayne's secret base."
Yeah, why did he have to go there?
Alfred's like, "Oh, you want some tea?" He's like, "No, bitch, get to Russia. We need to win." Like,
He went to his home to like try on all of his
Yeah, he's like,
outfits.
which flannel
He went
looks
up into
best on me?
space to do
Yeah.
some
Oh, he was-
sightseeing.
strutting down that hallway. He's like, "Well, not
I
that
like
one."
that just
Not
because it
that
gives
one.
Superman something to do. As a Superman fan, I like that he has lines. He does stuff other than just show up. Although I love it in the theatrical how he just comes back and just destroys Steppenwolf. In both versions, he just obliterates him. I could watch him do that for days.
Yeah, in completely different ways.
I'm
it
glad that
seemed
they
like.
didn't sideline him like carrying, helping civilians and stuff in this one. Like he just shows up,
He
beats
just-
the
Yeah.
shit out of Steppenwolf immediately. And
He
it's
said, "I'm here to
over.
kick some ass."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's wearing the black suit. Because I knew that they didn't film him in the black suit, they just changed the colors for this. So he actually, it's the red and blue. which is why there's absolutely no acknowledgement of him wearing the black suit in this movie. So I'm like, oh, I kind of wish you just kept it in red and blue if there wasn't going to be any acknowledgement. Whatever. It's a fan service.
What's the deal with the black suit? I don't really get it.
So in the comics, when Superman dies, he comes back to life in that black and silver suit. And he wears it in the comics, at least, because it's like a recovery suit. Because he didn't actually die. He just kind of went into like a comatose state, sort of. So it helps him. Yeah. So it helps him absorb more sunlight, I think, also because it's black. But it's his recovery suit in the comics. Whereas in this, it's just a fan service kind of fun thing.
Cool
it's a thing that Zack Snyder wanted to do in the original, because like it's weird. He originally had a vision, and then the Warner Brothers stepped in, and so they made him put him in the red and blue, basically. So he wanted him in the black originally, which is why there's no scene about it. Because when they told him he couldn't do it in the black, he just cut out anything about it and was putting him in red and blue.
There's a vision of him in one of the two movies. I think it's probably the Snyder version, where he's in the future. In the desert, like post-apocalypse or whatever, and he's in the black suit as well.
Yeah.
Did I imagine that, or
no? That happens when in this movie, when he's holding the dead Lois, he's in the black suit still. But when we get to the further future ones, he's back in the red and blue. And that I think is just because in Batman v Superman, Zack Snyder put him in red and blue, and so he's like, well, I have to keep him in red and blue then. Whatever. Yeah, I think that's just
like, why would they? I can't imagine why they would do that. Like, do you not realize that, like, you know, people love changing the outfits, and like it's more merchandising opportunities and more toys you can sell and all that kind of stuff. If you make,
I don't think they realized a lot of stuff in that theatrical version, so I'm not surprised.
It's almost like they didn't want to make money,
right?
Wild.
But yeah, just going back to that epic, that last 45 minutes is one. They have a plan, so their plan: Cyborg's going to integrate with the box and break them, and everyone's basically just. Minus the Flash, everyone's just basically like, all right, we just got to give him some time. That's all we're doing. And the Flash, you're running in a circle for 6 hours. That's all you're going to do.
Really fast.
You got to charge it like you did the box earlier. But I just appreciate that they actually have a plan. And there's a lot more cool team-up moments. Like you get Batman protecting Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman blocks the Batmobile from blowing up with her shield. One of my favorite moments is when you see Batman in the Batmobile, and then you see Cyborg and the Flash flying and running alongside him at the same speed.
Oh, yeah.
And then it turns into that giant group shot, which I will say looked like crap. The CG on that shot, the CG on that one shot.
It was still cool.
It was still
cool
awesome.
moment.
Oh, yeah, it's a cool, totally cool moment. But I was like, I took it as it is because I was like, you guys are making a weird streaming service movie. I don't know how much time or money you had to make all these effects. I'd rather you make Steppenwolf and Darkseid look the way they are than this 1 2-second shot. So yeah, but like that's you get that, which isn't in the theatrical. Obviously, Superman comes back and just beats the ever living crap out of Steppenwolf. Oh my god, he cut his horn off. I was like, holy shit, Superman! Oh my god,
not that man's block off.
Wasn't he just? Didn't he just have him on the ground? He was punching him for like a
he's
solid
wailing
2
on him.
minutes.
He's like, I got this, guys. He said, hold my beer.
He was beating that man up like he hated him. Like he hated him with all his being. Like, you didn't even meet this man. He came in like he
owed
ate
him money,
point,
man.
It's vindictive. It was vindictive.
Oh my god.
That's Black Suit Superman, man. He's a G, man.
He don't play. Like
Black Suit Superman is the same as Black Air Force Ones. When you put on Black Air Force Ones, you mean nothing but violence. And that's what he did in this movie. He shows violence.
I love it,
from
man.
The moment he got out that fucking soup that they put him in, he chose violence.
He honestly was just like blowing off some steam. Like he wanted to just punch the
he's
shit
like,
out
I've
of
been dead for a little while. Let's I love it when before he shows up. There's that moment where he goes back to the ship, and you see all the suits, and then he comes out in the black suit.
Yeah.
That dialogue is new, where you get his two dads talking to him in his head. I like that moment a lot. And also they put a lot of the original Man of Steel music back in, and I like when he takes off and he just sits in the sun Jesus style, because symbolism.
That was cool. He's like, oh, let me maybe get to Russia. Maybe I'll just chill out in space for a few more minutes.
I need a tan.
Yeah, I get some sun, bro. Been stuck in a box for a little bit.
Let me get to this ultraviolet light.
I love it when it's when he's kicking the shit out of Steppenwolf. He comes in, he knocks him to the ground, and then Wonder Woman I love it because Wonder Woman has the biggest smile on her face right before she does her bracelets to Steppenwolf, like, oh, you're fucked, dude.
Yeah.
Now it's like, before they're like, guys, we might not be able to do this. We can try. But as soon as Superman shows up, she's got the biggest smile. It's like, oh, we're good. We got this. So she hits him with the bracelets, and then Aquaman hits him with the trident, and he does that weird, which is new, this like weird water effect that he has with the trident. That's new in this. And then Superman comes and swings him around and just decks him. I'm like, I like the team ups. There's more team up stuff in this. I also like that he does freeze breath again, because I was worried that they would have cut that out.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Because that was in the theatrical. I was like, oh, I like the fact that he used.
It was way more like super cool guy, like just blowing the side of his mouth, like I'm not blowing on you, but
I also like that he kicks Steppenwolf. You never see Superman use his feet rarely, but he literally starts off and just kicks him in the chest.
This is America.
I'm telling you, it's just so disrespectful.
Oh, it's just so sad because like with Steppenwolf in this movie, he's got more character. He's a bit, no, I don't want to use this word, but he's a bitch in this movie. And he just gets dumped on and shit on by Desaad, the other guy who he talks to in this movie.
Yeah.
Desaad just has his number. He's like, Steppenwolf, you suck, you stupid motherfucker. This whole movie, he's just constantly shitting on Steppenwolf.
You still owe us 20,000 planets, and then we'll talk about you coming back home, all right? But not until then.
The look on Steppenwolf's eyes when Desaad says he owes us like 50,000 worlds, he's like, oh my God, I'm gonna be doing this forever.
Yeah.
But like, it's so like, and that's the big difference is that he has a character, and it's because he wants to get back in the good graces of Darkseid, which is not in that theatrical. He's a one-note villain in that one. He at least have a layer.
Yeah.
And I do love that because he makes no sense in the original one. That's why it feels so generic. It's like, this is a monster that exists. If you don't know who this monster is, there's a guy that wants some boxes. That's Justice League.
It doesn't matter.
A dude that wants some boxes, Superman comes. Like, that's it.
Yep.
Like,
okay, so can we talk about like the weird twist in the climax? Because like
we were about to get to that. Yeah,
combined, and then they blew up, and
they all died.
They all died.
They all died.
So they all died. But like, I thought the mother boxes were. Like, I didn't think that's what they would do, because it blew like a hole in the earth.
Yeah, so what they
right?
say,
like
as soon as the mother boxes unite, they terraform the earth and make it more like that. So like in that explosion, it was terraforming the earth to make it more like Apocalypse, that lava planet that Darkseid is from. Okay. That's what they were talking about earlier. So that's why that explosion killed everyone, including Superman.
Yeah.
And that's where you get one of the best moments in the movie where the Flash goes back in fucking time and saves the world.
Yeah, because like the original plan didn't go, right? Because he got shot and he's down. He didn't make it in time.
He wouldn't make it in time.
So yeah, so then he gets to actually like be clutch.
He gets to
and,
do
like,
something instead of saving a weird Russian family.
Yeah, he saved the entire world.
He saved the universe. And it's like, that is one of my favorite musical moments as well. That musical moment, it's very emotional. I love the visual of him stepping and the earth just like reappearing under his feet as he runs.
That was
it's just
cool.
So well done. And it also works for that because like we were talking about how Superman's OP and he just shows up and wins the day. Even with Superman, they still lose.
They needed the team.
Yeah. And so like everyone gets something to do in that climax. And it's just it's just so sad looking back at that theatrical and being like, how'd y'all fuck this up so badly?
That's what.
Why would you take that moment out? Why?
Because stockholders ruin art.
And that's obviously because they were like, we don't want Darkseid. We don't want this sequel. We don't want this universe. They were already thinking reboot, I'm assuming. So they're like, we can't have any of this in, which is a travesty, but whatever.
Dude, man. When that portal opened, I think they should have just jumped right in there and just taken him out right there.
That's a good moment.
Send some
that standoff.
You know what? I can't believe they threw the motherfucker back through the portal. I'm like,
that is one of the.
They're fucking.
She decapitated.
They're aliens. They can put his ass back together and Frankenstein this bitch. Why not burn him?
I don't know. Darkseid disrespects Steppenwolf so much. I don't think he wants him around anymore.
Yeah, he stepped directly on his head and broke that shit. I was like, oh, okay,
true.
They don't care about
lucky
this. Lucky
us.
I told you he was gonna lose. Well, fuck you, dude.
Right? I told you.
I did my
this
best.
Side is constantly shitting on Steppenwolf in this movie.
Did you see Superman? He's wearing a black suit, man. He's gonna fuck me up. You get in there. Let me see you get in there.
I like it how you could imagine it in Superman's head was like, oh, my hands are clean. I didn't mean to kill Steppenwolf. That was Diana. She's the one who chopped his head off. I just punched him. I was just trying to send him back.
Oh, but you knew she was going to get that final cut in, man.
Oh my God, it was so good with Aquaman. It's like another just like a team up where Aquaman. It's very much especially with Aquaman and Wonder Woman. Those two are killers. I don't give a fuck. Like Superman and Batman are one thing. Wonder Woman's a warrior. She's not afraid to kill somebody.
She knows what she has to do. I can appreciate it.
When he picks him up with that trident and he's just kind of posing with him, and he's like, "Hey, Superman, you want in on this? just get him real quick. He's right here."
Diana decapitates Steppenwolf and then turns to the random Russian girl in the room. You can be whatever you want.
There's another one in the corner. Can I do that?
Oh,
maybe one day, kid.
Right.
And then like they're just like they're sitting there flexing, like, you guys want the smoke?
I
like,
love
come
that.
on through. Like, you guys want the smoke? Come on.
You want to come over to here?
Where there's just a stare down with them and Darkseid. It's really that was a good moment. Let's talk about real quick the fan servicey part of it, aka Martian Manhunter being in this movie.
What the hell?
I was like, who the hell is this? I had to do some research, and then even after that, I was like, okay, still never heard of this guy, but that's cool.
I knew him from like the old Justice League show.
He's kind of like the
Isn't he a
Vision of the
villain?
DC universe. He can shape
Oh, is he
shit.
good?
Or,
He was around. Like, he was there early in the movie. He talked to Lois Lane, and then he's like, okay. And then after they win, he's like, okay, now I'll help. It's like, I gotta make sure you guys are gonna win first. Like,
it's 100% fan service. I like that it's in there because it is fan service. I like that they used that actor who was in all the Man of Steel before that they stuck with him being
cool.
I thought that was cool.
He's been there the
I
whole
hate
time.
the fact that it undercuts a really beautiful scene with Martha and Lois where they're talking about that. I was like, oh, you just made that moment not as good because you made it a weird green alien man.
Yeah, and then the Lois and Martha go and hang out later. Is Lois gonna be like, it was really sweet when you came over to my house? And she's like, what are you talking about?
I don't know. I've been here the whole time.
I haven't seen you in years.
Oh yeah, I don't know. It's odd. And then he comes back at the end. Quick tidbit: that was supposed to be a Green Lantern originally. Zack Snyder wanted that to be a Green Lantern that showed up at Bruce Wayne's house and be like, "Hey, I'm here now. I came from space."
I would have liked that more. That would have been cooler.
I think so too.
Yeah. There was rumors that Ryan Reynolds was supposed to show up in this movie. I thought that would have been fucking hilarious.
Please God, no. Please God, don't do it.
Oh man, it's so funny.
They just got to start over with Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have that, and then the final piece of this movie, the biggest fan service, is the post credit nightmare sequence in the desert with the Joker coming back again, and
once again getting no actual screen time despite being in the trailer. But he
yeah.
Yeah.
It's better than I'd say it's better than the stuff he was doing in Suicide Squad. His look is better, I would say.
He looks so much cooler.
Look is better. Go, Devin.
Who's gonna get the reach arounds, Batman? Fucking cringy.
The biggest sigh in the world.
Wait, but
that was a cringe
laugh.
line.
Who can do the laugh the best?
We all wanted to know what it would be like to have Jared Leto and Ben Affleck on the same screen, and you know what happened? It fucking sucked.
It's funny because I know everybody wants to beat up Jared Leto because he's so fucking weird on set. So I know Ben Affleck didn't like being around that man.
They didn't shoot that together. They did not shoot that at the same time. I don't. Yeah, they shot those.
You don't think so, or is that a fact?
I'm pretty sure that's a fact that they did not shoot that at the same time.
That's good. I think Ben Affleck would beat him up in real life.
I'm surprised. It is nice. Ben Affleck did come back. That's the only. At least as far as I know, I'm pretty sure that is the only stuff that he reshot for this movie. Everything else was already shot, and they had just to do the special effects and blah blah blah. That is the only bit that he actually reshot for this movie. Was that last desert scene?
I didn't hate Jared Leto's Joker in Suicide Squad because it was like a new take, whatever. But seeing him actually beside Batman, it's trash.
Oh, see, dude. I liked it. I liked his look better in this movie, and I kind of would like to have seen them go toe to toe because they are so. Because I just want to see Batman beat the shit out of the Joker.
I would love that. And like this Batman, I know he actually would kill him.
Why does he have to do weird sex shit to Batman? Why is he talking about giving Batman a hand job?
Why the reach around comments? Literally say anything else.
That was pretty weird.
Who's gonna give you a reach around?
I do like how Batman's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I like how he drops that F-bomb.
Like there's one of the Arkham Knight video games where it's like the Joker is dead and he's like still in the game as like a voice inside Batman's head.
Yeah.
And I thought that that's where this was going until one of the other characters mentions how he's so annoying. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's really there. Damn it.
Yeah, he's real. Son of a bitch.
So honestly though, like the kind of the setup for that kind of a movie, because like they had just did the scene where it's like, you know, Deathstroke or whatever. Or what's his name? Deadshot. He's like, I'm going to go hunt down Bruce, which at this point it seems like everybody, like, it seems like Bruce Wayne himself is like giving out his ID everywhere he goes when he's Batman, whatever.
Kind of.
But that's neither here nor there. And then they immediately cut to that and they're on the same team, right? You know, fighting against Superman's regime and like that Darkseid stuff. Like that, the setup for that, I want to see that movie.
That and like that Lex Luthor scene, which we kind of skipped over because it's almost the same except he drops that Bruce Wayne bomb, is that is clearly the setup for what the Ben Affleck Batman movie was supposed to be, because it was always going to be Batman versus Deathstroke in that movie. and that was that setup. And obviously Ben Affleck is kind of in limbo, mostly like a no, I'm not coming back, which is why I was like, oh, I appreciated that he came back for this reshoot because I thought he was completely done with Batman. He is apparently going to be in that Flash movie at some point, but so
Interesting.
I don't know what he's kind.
Well,
Yeah, it's
isn't
weird.
Robert Pattinson the new Batman?
Yep, it's a very weird world we live in.
Side note, is that Warner Brothers?
Yeah.
So it's still this same like universe.
I think they're saying that it takes place in Earth 2. So like the multiverse.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I don't know, man.
They're not even trying anymore.
They're just. That's why it's like
they're
it's
just trying to make content.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
They're trying to make push out more movies and just get you.
I like that pairing, that group of misfits at the end. How it's Batman, Cyborg, the Flash, Deathstroke, the Joker, and Mara. I like Mara. Amber Heard. She's got her own issues. We're not talking about that. But I like how she's part of this group because we didn't talk about this. Mara has a dope ass moment where she literally sucks the blood out of Steppenwolf's face earlier in this movie.
Yo, homegirl's a waterbender, bloodbender. That was crazy.
I was like, why is she not on the Justice League? Holy shit. Right. She's way better than Aquaman.
We're like, we only got 5 people. Why?
Right.
Yeah.
We got room.
There in that scene, she had the trident, right? That he gets in Aquaman. She had the trident. Yeah. So like Aquaman's dead.
There are a couple weird continuity issues in this movie because Aquaman was supposed to take place after this movie technically. So the ending of the original Aquaman movie doesn't make any sense with this movie, but it doesn't really matter because none of it really makes sense anyways. But I do like that weird grouping of misfits. And like, if this is the end of this universe with this movie, I'm okay with it. I'm a little sad because I kind of would like to see Zack Snyder's weird in the Desert Justice League movie. I kind of want to, like, fuck it. Just let him do, like, even if it's just on HBO Max or something, give him, like, let him just see this vision through. And because I would like to see this weird desert.
Or even if it was like a mini thing, like 40 minute, like 1 hour kind of like one time, one off thing, that would be cool too. But yeah, like this, it is kind of sad because like this movie got me more excited for all these projects that are probably not going to happen at this point. But I will say that like, if you're going to do something like this, you should not have Zack Snyder with like ultimate control over it. Like you should diversify your actors and get more different perspectives in their movie to movie and not have one guy running the entire vision. I think.
Yeah.
If you're going to do that, don't get in his way, but which they obviously didn't do, but like to give one director control over all the movies is a mistake, I think.
Because it turns out he makes the same movie.
Yeah, he likes his aesthetic. He's got his thing going. Yeah, so that's kind of the future of this universe is like, who knows?
There is none.
It's Warner Brothers has constantly said it's not happening, and I don't blame them for the shit that they are now getting with this. With more, I did want to talk about kind of the toxicity of a fandom and how it can, because I do agree with that. There are shitty people that were on the Zack Snyder train trying to get this thing, and they did terrible, terrible things. I also think that there were a lot of good people that just wanted this just to have it and did raise like over $500 million for suicide prevention to get this movie made. And like, I think there's a lot, and I do think it's like that whole, a small amount of people can make things, a one group look like terrible. But I do also think that just stop being so shitty. Because, like, if I'm Warner Brothers and I'm getting death threats from these people, I'm like, I'm not making your shit out of spite at this point.
I mean,
like,
yeah.
What have you learned over the past 6-7 years of this happening? Bullying works.
It sucks. I hate it.
Apparently, if you bully a
as
giant
much as I love
enough,
seeing this movie, it's like I hate that. Yeah.
For what reason? I mean, we've seen it so many times that it's been happening more and more, and I understand why. And I think the biggest reason is we talked about a little bit earlier about the art integrity, the artistic integrity of something is often diminished because of, which at the end of the day, it's a company. They want to make money. Anybody does anything to make money. They're not, Zack Snyder didn't do it in this, but like the Justice League was made because it makes the company money. That's where the movie exists, capitalism. So that sometimes does end up with these weird piles that like, this wasn't the artistic vision, but at the same time, you still should probably respect it because we've seen this happen in, multiple spaces now. Side the Hedgehog was the most recent one before then, where we bullied the shit out of people because we saw that first. And it's like, no, it wasn't. They didn't do a good job. Like, they should know that. Like, you did a bad job and you should know you did a bad job. But to bully a company into making these people work that much harder for this much longer and spend that much more money, was that a good thing? happened to work well for them. They made a decent amount of money from the movie from that, and it probably ended up being a lot better of a movie because of that. But at what cost?
What are the
you know
emotional
what I mean? What if it
scars?
didn't? Yeah, what if it didn't work?
Right.
And then it still sucked. And it
I
still
don't know
did
if
poorly.
bullying is the right word. You're totally entitled to your opinion, but I feel like it's more of just criticism.
It's bullying when you're sending executives death threats on Twitter. That's I would say that's
okay.
bullying.
I didn't know that
as a
happened.
whole, wanting something to be different is one thing. Like Game of Thrones and be like, oh, I don't like the way it ended. But when you start doing things that are like egregious, like just really out there because you don't like something.
When you start harassing
there's
people.
definitely a line.
It sounds like a line was crossed. I didn't realize.
Yeah. I'm making hyperbole. I'm just, kind of joking that it's a thing that exists that, people are really mean to you. And then you're like, maybe the company would start making a new game like they did with Mass Effect 3 when they changed the ending completely. Like, the people were bullying those people. But at the same time, it was mostly just people not liking and that's where it comes to a weird world of like what's artistic integrity and should be allowed to exist.
Right.
And then what's maybe just lazy money making.
Right.
Totally. And the Game of Thrones might just be lazy money.
I would also say, like, if you were one of those, like, just a fanatic or something about this, and you got what you got, just be humble about it. Enjoy it. Stop and don't throw it in other people's faces if they like the theatrical or if they like anything else, and just stop. Like, don't shit on people if they like it or don't like it. And also, if like
it's almost like there's 7 billion people on this earth and they all have different opinions.
Right.
No way. That's crazy.
Right. But I think there's something like I guess there's two sides to the coin, right? Like, I think it's good that, we've shown that companies can respond and like, because if that original Sonic movie had come out with that body style, it would have ruined the movie. But but I'm glad the movie when they re-edited the body shape and everything, it was a fun and enjoyable movie. I really enjoyed that movie. So I think it's good for for them to get feedback from the people and like see, okay, everybody hates this. Like, so maybe we're not going to make money this way. So let's not do it this way, right? That part of it is positive, but like the other part of it, like obviously negative if, people are crossing the line too much. But I think overall, if we could, rebalance it a little bit and just have a way where, if people are more positive in their feedback to the people that are making this stuff, I think that's the way it should be, right? Like you should want to please your audiences and not just kind of make stuff that's gonna, like I don't know, it's kind of this weird thing with the suits and everything else, but like I think it's good that they are responsive to the fans, for sure.
And that's the big thing. And you think we would learn that by now? And I think that's my biggest, I don't know how much longer we want to sit on this topic, but just kind of like with fan service, whether or not it's good or bad, I think it's more often good than it is bad. I think that it's so weird to be a suit at a big company and not listen to your fans. Like if you want to make the most money possible, I feel like you would want to appease the people. So when you do weird things like, well, we're going to take out this and that and this and that, it's like, listen, you have... The internet is so big and Twitter is like so instant. Like you can get on Twitter, ask, hey guys, what you like? You'll get comments, hundreds of thousands of comments probably within minutes. That'll give you great, and not everyone's opinion is valid. Let's be real. Some people are just stupid. Sure. But like, I mean, no, Blizzard said that to people's faces before. And it's fucking hilarious that they're just like, you think you know what you're talking about. You're actually
put that on a shirt.
You said that to your consumer base. That's sketchy, but go off. But yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like, Dragon Ball Super is such a well-loved, and like there's the critics, those anime weebs are gatekeepers and awful, but like it's pretty high regarded because it did what people wanted. Akira Toriyama was like, yeah, okay, like that sounds good. Put it in there. And people were like, this episode's amazing. Yeah, put it in there again. This episode's amazing too. That's crazy. Like, so listen.
I think it mostly goes down to, I think they're trying to, well, one, they're trying to do the Marvel thing. And two, they're trying to hit like my parents. They're trying to hit they're trying to not just hit that because money, ultimately money.
And I get that, but it often it ends up, and it's funny because it's like, I know you guys do like, you have people that like do math on this and like do psychology based stuff. Like you hire psychologists for this kind of stuff. You hire people to run numbers for this kind of stuff, and you still miss. It's like you would think that you would, and it's like people, I don't know how you still at this point don't know what the people want when you have other media out there that shows exactly what the people want.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
It just shows a disconnect between like that, what you said, like kind of what they think will make money and what won't. Like at the end of the day, if you make a quality movie, it's going to make money, right? And like
that's not true. Look at Blade Runner 204049. That movie is fantastic.
Sure. Okay.
And
amazing movie.
they're never going to make another one of those.
You're right. But like for the superhero stuff where there's committed fandoms already, right? There's people that love the comics. There's casuals, whatever. Like Batman is probably still the most iconic superhero, in the world, like Batman and Superman, whatever. So there's always potential there.
Right.
So you have that. So like, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Just make it solid. But they do, like, you know, I mean, and the more you learn about how films are made and stuff, the more you learn that, like, you know, infighting and all these kind of problems come up and during production, and you know, and so they're doing this to themselves and Warner Brothers. And in this case, it's them 100% their fault that it's turning out this way. But you know, DC, they're on the right track. Like Shazam was solid. You got Wonder Woman's going well. Aquaman's got some potential. Flash could be good. So it seems like if they kind of like had the right structure and they stopped these kind of like, you know, cancers inside their own organization, then they could go in the right direction.
They just need to commit to something.
That's the biggest
they
thing.
Keep
they need
cutting
to commit.
themselves off too soon, and it's just like
and then rebooting stuff. It's just like
I'm
just
sick of the
stick with what you
reboots.
got. they have the you got on shaky footing, right? But now you're there. Like you got the footing now. You got some solid franchises. So just keep moving in this direction. But I don't think they'll do that.
I don't know what the hell.
I don't know. Wonder Woman 84 seems like it was almost like they didn't learn a single thing from the first movie. It was almost like they made the first movie by accident and then they dropped it and it broke. Like they were bringing home their little home project. Like, look, Mom, what I made. This is a great little volcano.
I mean, if it goes to show you, the studio didn't want that No Man Land scene in the movie at first. They wanted her to cut that scene out of the movie, and it's like, so y'all really just don't know what the hell you're talking about. At this point.
Wow.
So
it's those kind of things. Yeah.
But still, like the franchise, I feel like that, like Wonder Woman can recover from that, right? And like
I mean, it still made a ton of money.
Yeah.
Shazam was good, and like Aquaman's just getting started too. So like they have the pieces in place, but you just have to get out of your own way, like literally.
Yeah.
Just stop tripping over yourself. So who knows?
Yeah.
Shazam was super fun. I love Shazam, actually.
It's a good
It's probably one of my higher rated movies of DC.
That was a good one.
And it seems like they don't really have like a Kevin Feige kind of figure, right? That like kind of like oversees all the cross storytelling. So that's definitely a problem.
Jeff Johns tried to be that. He was like the big head. He's a big comic book writer as well, but he kind of failed at it apparently. So yeah.
Oh no, he's not good at it. No.
From what we've seen, he's not been doing a very good job. If he was that role that he was supposed to be doing.
Do they have Kathleen Kennedy over there doing some
Shut up. We're not. No. I'm cutting this out. Real quick.
Oh, that's why it sucks.
God damn it.
And that's why the fandom's toxic.
Right.
A woman can't make comic
Devin.
books.
Everything we just said, it was down the drain because of you.
Because people really think that. And I hate them. So I hate humans.
We're the worst.
Yeah, we are. Real quick, because I didn't want to just shit on the 2017, because when we were comparing, there are things that I liked in that movie that I would have loved back in this one.
It was shorter. That was cool. All right, that's the episode, guys.
Yeah.
Things I loved about it. It was short. Great. Awesome. Good job.
Just one quick thing real quick was that I like the conversation that Batman has with the Flash when he doesn't know what to do, and Batman just tells him just save one person and you'll know what to do. I like it's just one really nice moment. Other than that, I'm probably never gonna watch the movie again because this one was just so much better. I did.
I mean, all the good parts that I liked in it, I could just watch in the longer one. Unfortunately,
right?
Fortunately, depending on how you feel.
Yeah.
Oh, we kind of glossed over this. I liked the ending of Cyborg's arc when he's in the box and he finally admits that I'm not broken and I'm not alone. I did like that. That for me was the completion of his arc in that movie.
Yeah, that was cool.
And I like that moment a lot.
And it was funny how easy it was for him to like break them up because they're like, "Oh man, Cyborg, it's going to be so hard for you in there. It's going to be impossible." And then he did it quite easily. It was pretty easy for him.
And then I like when he broke away the boxes and then he ended with "Booyah."
Is that when he said it?
I love that.
No.
In the theatrical, he says it right before the big group shot. It's just literally a shot of his face and he just goes "Booyah," and that's it.
Yep.
And it looks stupid.
Should have kept
it.
No, Devin, you should listen to your actors and what they want and their specs and beliefs.
So wait, did he actually not want to? Did he not want to do that?
Yeah, he really didn't want to say it. He's like, I don't want to say it. One, it doesn't fit the tone. No. Why is this one black guy have to say a catchphrase in the 90s?
Catchphrases.
Cyborg is not anything like Teen Titans Cyborg.
I didn't bother me in the time, but the fact that he hated it so much, it's like, yeah, whatever. I kind of forgot that it happened in this movie. So
I will say that I felt this movie turned a good 20 minutes into a good 45 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I got out of that 4 hours.
Which is what the
Love
ending,
those 45 minutes.
the last act.
Yeah, because I already saw the other stuff that was cool in it. To be fair,
Yeah,
because it was already in the theatrical cut. But that was the 20
Speaking of
minutes
stuff
in the
that you
theatrical
could
cut.
cut out, you can cut out a lot of music videos, probably including that weird Iceland song at the beginning in that Aquaman Batman scene in Iceland when those women just start singing that
Yeah.
Icelandic
Oh,
song.
yeah.
For a little bit
That
too
to
long.
me, I was like, this is such a Zack Snyder movie.
'Cause he's a god.
It's such a as soon as that happened,
If you saw sexy ass Jason Momoa, you wouldn't start singing.
and smelling
They're
his
like,
sweaters.
We will
Yeah.
wash your clothes for you. Yes.
I'm glad that the Wonder Woman boob thing is out from the theatrical cut that Joss Whedon put in there. I'm glad that's gone.
What was that?
What
There's a
thing?
shot in that it's not even actually Gal Gadot. She refused to do it. It's a double in her outfit. When she falls down and the flash lands on her boobs, and then he speeds back up and he looks at her all weird. And
Oh, yeah.
that's out of the movie, and
That was
that's
pretty
not Gal
awful.
Gadot. She's like, I'm not.
That's very
doing that.
Michael
I
Bay.
will say I'm such a fan of Gal Gadot and Wonder Woman and her character. I thought she was the best character in both versions of the movie. She was like the only one that was badass enough, besides Superman, I guess.
I was about to say
take on,
Superman kind of put a walloping
yeah.
on her
to take on the villain and like hold her own by like one-on-one. She was just so fucking cool. So
she's great.
Props for Gal Gadot.
I mean,
She's
even
the
her
best.
going against Superman. After watching 84, I appreciate her a lot more in Justice League. I think she did a much better job of doing it.
She's also fighting a
and
more
do
powerful
cool
person.
stuff.
So yeah,
Fair. Yeah, the choreography felt cooler just as a whole.
Mhm.
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Love Gal Gadot.
I wanted to say a quick tidbit because I watched some behind the scenes stuff about Zack Snyder. This is more about him being an artist. He literally, the first 2 to 3 months of production, he draws every single shot of this movie, like frame for frame, in a storyboard.
All 4 hours?
Yeah. He's got like binders on binders, and he just flips through it, and it's basically the entire movie shot for shot, pretty much. And I'm like, because I didn't know about this about him, was that he initially wanted to be an artist growing up, and then he ended up going to film school. He went to like an art school and then went to film school and then decided to do this, which is why I will say he should just stick to cinematography because he has some of the best, like he knows how to frame a shot. Like his shots are just gorgeous and like they look like comic book panels and stuff. And it goes to that fact that he draws all this stuff and he knows what he wants. And like, I just appreciated that. I was like,
That's
if
cool.
you're working 2 to 3 months just to draw the movie before you start shooting anything, I feel like your heart's in it in the right thing. So I'm like, I'm out. You get a pass if it's bad.
Yeah.
Which I don't think this is bad. I still think this is way better. It's honestly probably one of my favorite comic book movies, if not definitely one of my favorite DC movies, just because it's so epic in scale. And yeah, you guys are right. That last 45 minutes is like amazing.
Yeah.
And last thing, Hallelujah plays at the end of this movie during the credits. And it's also in one of the first trailers that came out. And it's also in Watchmen, a movie that he directed. I learned this later because a lot of people, when that first trailer for this movie came out, it was to the Hallelujah song. And people were like, oh my God, really? Are you jerking yourself off? And like, Hallelujah, your vision is here. I learned this is different. And I appreciate it a lot more that people don't know. Apparently, Hallelujah, that Leonard Cohen original song, was his daughter's, Autumn's, favorite song. And also the woman who sings it during the credits sang it at her funeral as well. So
I knew it was going to
why,
be something like that. I knew it was going to make me so bad.
Yeah, so that's why it's a lot more. There's a lot more meaning to it, which made me appreciate it a little more. Because I also kind of thought that this game, like that's really funny, but yeah. So there's a lot of love and a lot of detail that people miss out on.
Yeah,
that I appreciate from him. But
he's a great artist.
That's wild.
So we all really liked it. You should definitely watch it. We all really are on the same page here. Alex, you had a quick question you wanted to throw out.
Yeah, I got a quick question for everybody. So, in the name of reboots and retconning and studios and franchises deleting everything that they had and starting over, or deleting a whole movie and making a new movie like the Snyder Cut, and this seems like a bigger theme that's coming back more and more, especially with Snyder Cut, and seems like some other franchises are kind of hinting at it. Brian, you talked about Dragon Ball Z with Dragon Ball Super. Fan service is so huge right now. So if you guys could pick one franchise for a movie or video game or TV show or anything else you can think of, one franchise that you would retcon and do over, what would it be?
I think I know Devin's, but I don't know if he'll do it.
You don't have to say exactly how you would do it, but something that deserves,
franchise?
in your opinion, to be retconned. Yeah.
Just for any reason, not because it's bad, but it could be something like I want to see the Marvel from the beginning again.
No. It needs to be like done better because you didn't like it. You can't just want more of it.
Okay.
Does it have to be the whole franchise, or can it just be one part of it?
Shut up.
I don't know. I guess that's up to you. Up for you.
Because it's bad.
I feel like mine might be the same as Devin's, but for different reasons.
Are you guys about to say Star Wars?
Star Wars, throw the whole thing away. Star Wars sucks, guys.
The whole thing? Wait, which
Star
ones?
Wars, every single one.
9 movies?
Reboot that shit.
Throw the whole
thing away. Hot take of the day. Let's go.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired of people jerking off about Star Wars, talking about how, they were better in the 70s. No, they weren't. They sucked in too. Star Wars always sucked. Mark Hamill was a big old Chad bumbling around.
Time out. You need to go home. This question is over.
No, because people need to hear it. Because I'm tired of people sitting on that high horse. Like, Mark Hamill wasn't a terrible actor in the first movies. And like, this wasn't the campiest nonsense on earth talking about, they were better than that.
What have we unleashed?
Oh my God.
I mean, to be fair to Brian, it is true that the original actor for Obi-Wan Kenobi, he was like, I cannot come back for this movie, so y'all gotta kill me because like I will not work with these amateurs again.
That's hilarious.
Don't hate me because I'm right.
So Brian, would it be the similar story? Would it be the same characters?
Similar story, same characters. I'll be fine with it. We're going to change the story up a little bit, maybe making it a little bit more deep. But kind of do the same way we do like comic book movies and stuff like that. Like maybe still keep the comic book elements, but make it more, I don't want to say realistic because it's Space Wars. It's not realistic, but more like grounded, I guess. Because the archetypal thing is so played out and so weak that it doesn't make a good story anymore. Like, Tolkien and stuff like that was like, it feels good because it established the genre, but like it doesn't really feel as good when it's made. I think that's why like, the second Wonder Woman was not that great because it's a story that just doesn't feel grounded or like relatable or humanized, I guess, enough. So if we could do that with Star Wars, like I think we've been doing, like Rogue One felt very good.
Yeah.
Movies like that, if we can do more like that with Star Wars, with the Skywalker saga, amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
I see your point, but I do have a really good soft spot for Star Wars, particularly the first 3 movies.
And
I think we all kind of do. Yeah.
You're talking to the person that likes solely bad things, and that's why I can be so critical of them.
Okay, Devin, what you got? What would you do over?
Well, I
hop in the time machine.
So
Can we just loop what Brian just said again and then say that's what Devin said?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Devin, like, make it about the books. The books are really good.
No, I mean the fact that Star Wars, at least the sequel trilogy, needs to be redone is self-evident. So I won't waste another pick on Star Wars. I won't talk about it more. I mean, who wants to talk about that? Who's got time to talk about it? So, man, okay, I'm gonna go full like series. I'm gonna say, and this might be kind of unexpected, but do you guys remember Aragon?
Oh God!
Oh,
movie.
That's a good pick, actually.
The books were great, and the movie, they made a movie, and it was fucking trash. Like it was so bad. So I feel like if they did it the right way, like pre Hobbit, Peter Jackson, somebody like that, like not Hobbit because that's too gimmicky, but like do it. Somebody that would do it the right way and like follow the books, maybe HBO to like make a series out of it and like do it right. There's a lot of potential there, and I feel like it could definitely be a really cool movie series or
HBO. Are you listening?
Season.
About to say
it could
right.
be
shoot an email.
A great show too.
That's a good pick. That's a good.
That's a good one.
One that just came into my head because of Devin. I don't think I'm gonna pick it, but I just
go with what you're gonna pick. Then
I had to mention it. The Matrix.
I don't know if the Matrix can be rebooted the way I'm scared of what the fourth one's going to be like.
The Matrix
and actually cast Will Smith as Neo this time.
Erasing 2 and 3, you'd also have to erase 1 and just doing it. I don't know. That was maybe iffy. So I feel
if you keep 1 and then delete 2 and 3, absolutely. I agree
but I don't think those are the rules. I don't know if we can do that.
Just delete the last 2.
Reboot it by just not making the other 2.
We're rebooting this franchise by not making any more movies.
Right.
And then you just re-release the first copy.
I probably, because Devin made me think of it, I'd probably go The Hobbit. Not Lord of the Rings, but The Hobbit trilogy.
Ooh.
I would reboot that. Make it 2 movies like it was originally supposed to be.
Don't make it a trilogy.
Use more practical effects, not all of the CG.
Yeah.
And make it look better and really more like Lord of the Rings. I would do The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I would totally do that. But I mean, Star Wars. Like, it's Star Wars. Let's start.
Yes, Star Wars is definitely the easiest pick. For me, it's hard not to pick Star Wars. I would love to see the last 3 movies redone a lot different. But since we already touched on that, I think for me, I would probably pick the Mass Effect series video games.
Ooh. You want to be redone?
All of them.
I love the Mass Effect games, but for how awful particularly the ending of the 3rd one was, I would love for them to just get a wash. Like, it would be awesome if they would just be way like better gameplay wise for the first game. Keep the same story, keep everything the same. Number 2, keep everything the same. Maybe the decisions could tie in a little bit deeper. But for the third one really just needs
to be redone,
a complete overhaul. Yeah, like just delete the 3rd one. Re-release them all to make them more modern or whatever, but shinier graphics, but just start from scratch with the 3rd one. Make the decisions matter. Make everything the first 2 games matter, and change that awful color-based ending that nobody cared about. That's what I would pick.
Love that answer, because you are so correct. And the Stockholm Syndrome is definitely set in with that game to the point where I almost like 3, because Andromeda was so fucking bad. But it wasn't a good game. Literally, if you read the back of the box, it says, a great place to start the Mass Effect series.
Yep.
The 3rd game of the trilogy is the best place to start. Who are you selling this game to? What is
Wait,
that?
Said that about the 3rd one?
Yeah, they said that about the 3rd one. I was on the back of the box. I probably still have it somewhere. It's on the back of the
3rd
box.
one, not Andromeda.
No, not Andromeda, on the 3rd one.
They're not wrong, because nothing mattered. It didn't matter for the other ones. I will say it's Stockholm Syndrome is a good point you brought up, because after playing the 3rd game, after finishing it, I held the controller in my hands, and the credits were rolling, and I was like, just waiting for a second. I was just like, yeah. I lied to myself. I said, yeah, that was a good game, right? I lied to myself for like 2 days until I
sounds like
finally,
an abusive relationship.
I finally let myself know the truth that it sucked.
Now, I have a bad memory. I can't remember much, but I remember distinctly, because I finished the game pretty late at night, distinctly texting Devin in the middle of the night. Just irate. We were texting for far too long in the night.
The first thing you did, like, I think I was either with you or you texted me after you finished it, and you're like, honestly, I'm not that mad about it. And then you texted me later, like, you're like,
later in the night.
I literally can't sleep right now because of how fucking mad I am at this game.
That's how it is, man.
That game ruined my life. But the DLC, it does have some of the best DLC.
Yeah.
BioWare, Star Wars, Hobbit, Dragon Book that Devin was talking about. Let's go, everybody.
Honorable mention, just the second half of Game of Thrones.
I saw a poster of Game of Thrones, and I was like, no, I didn't mind that last season. I didn't hate it as much as everyone, so I'm okay with it. I'll leave it as it is. It's fine.
I don't know how you do it, Oscar. How do you just not hate? How are you just so? How do you just love
Brian?
things?
I like Superman. I can't hate. He said, "How you sounded like a Palpatine? How do you not?
I just feel like my quality of life as a human being would be so much better if I could just not think. I don't want to say you're not thinking, but it's like just to be like, I get it. Like, yeah, okay.
Just not to care so deeply about this stuff.
I just tried to see where it came from and understand why it is the way it is.
That makes me angrier. For Game of Thrones specifically, that makes me angry.
Yeah. That's a different topic. That's for another day. Thank you for listening. We understand this is a very long main topic, but this was a 4-hour-long movie. So, and happy holidays, because I don't know what day it is. So,
Merry Christmas? Question mark.
Merry Christmas.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Easter. Happy Arbor Day. All right. I think we're good. Shall we move on to the next segment or the end of the episode? I don't know what's gonna happen. We'll see what happens. All right. Bye, Devin. Bye, Brian. I know you guys you're leaving just because you gotta go watch. You're excited to watch it again. So I'll see you guys in 4 hours. I know you guys loved it so much.
Enjoy.
All right, it is time for our final segment of the week, listeners, which we like to call "Free to All."
Free
this week.
Free to all. Free to all.
Title pending.
Free to all.
This is a segment, listeners, where we kind of just do whatever we want. We can talk about what we've done this week, whether it was watch a movie or read a book or went outside or went somewhere, went on vacation or anything like that. Or life things.
It's free to all.
Free to
It's
all.
free to all. I'll go first. This week, kind of a mix of this week and last week. I'm in New York right now. Listeners, you might not know, or maybe you do.
What?
No, you do. You might know a bit. But yeah, I'm in New York right now. So me and Alex are, funny enough, very close in the same city to each other. Yet we still got, we're still so far.
Still gotta video chat in.
It's a big city, and
It's a big
we're busy
city.
people.
People are busy.
But yeah, so I've just been enjoying the city the past couple days. I'll be here for a little while. I've just been walking around. Today I walked through Central Park, and I went through
Ooh,
my
nice.
favorite deli on the west side and had me a nice buffalo chicken wrap, and it was delicious.
That is perfect.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
great. It was a nice day today too.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I feel bad that you're here in the city and we haven't really hung out yet. But you're here for a while, so I know I will see you very soon.
Yeah, we'll see each other soon.
Yeah. Similarly for my free for all, I've just been super busy with work, which is good, but I'm actually recovering, like I mentioned, from overnights. So we were doing this little commercial and we needed to, get in there and do like lots of big lights and stuff. So the best thing to do is just to go in to the department store when it's closed. So then you have like the space to do what you got to do. But
Right, right.
that means that you're starting the day like we were starting at like 8 o'clock p.m. In preparation for that, I just tried to like rest and sleep in as much as I could, and
Right.
trick my brain into thinking. And I had some coffee at like 7 p.m. and was like, okay,
Ugh, that's the worst.
it's morning, it's morning, it's morning. Get back home and when the sun's coming up, but I just sleep all day long and then rinse and repeat for the next night. So I finally got off today, and I just been in recovery mode, wearing PJs around the house and just like sleeping, trying to be like a normal person again.
I mean, yeah, no, overnights are always the worst. I had to do that when I worked in retail years back, and there was every now and then there's always the one day where yeah, you knew the overnight was coming, and it's just like,
Yeah,
oh,
it's coming.
fuck, this sucks.
You really gotta prepare for yourself for that. I know some careers, some people's jobs are like built around those hours, like graveyard
Yeah.
shift. So props to all you guys and gals out
Yeah.
there and people who are doing that.
I feel
That's
for
hard.
ya. But it actually reminded me of a funny fact where cause like I'm pretty like I'm a pretty bad sleeper, and I'm pretty like nocturnal at times and there's times where I just can't sleep at night. And I heard this fact, I don't know if it's 100% true though, was that apparently it's like a weird biological thing that goes back to like when we used to like live in tribes, some would say. And like it goes to like there were some people that were like biologically programmed because of what happened back then, where people would stay up and like watch over everyone else as they slept,
Oh wow,
in case of any kind of like wildlife attacks or anything like that, just kind of guarding pretty
that
much over the
makes a
night.
whole
So
lot of sense.
I like to assume I'm protecting everyone around me when I can't sleep.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah, so yeah, man. So I'm glad those overnights are done for you, and you can finally get onto a normal,
I can move on
non-Dracula
with
schedule.
normal work hours or work time
Right.
starts. We'll see. Yep. It's been an interesting day.
Yeah, I'm sure.
A lot of sleep.
Yeah, I think that's it. That's our free for all, everyone. Man,
We did it.
it really goes by very quickly when it's just there's just two of us.
Moral of the story is get out there and explore the city, and also take a nap.
Absolutely.
Also take a nap.
Well, yeah, I walked the whole day. I didn't take the subway or anything. I walked 7 miles just in like the whole time I was there. So like I got home, I was like, man, that was a mistake. No, it
Oh,
was a lot
wow.
of fun. It was a beautiful day and it was great. But yeah, I was like, oh, that was a good walk. Good walk.
Get out there and take a walk, guys.
Take a walk, everyone. That's it. So listeners, you can email us at thefortressof@gmail.com. Fortress spelled FOUR. Feel free to email us any questions you have or any feedback about the show in general, or any recommendations for free for all, or anything you had to say, or maybe we missed in our main topic or the news or anything like that. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the Fortress of, and the Fortress of YouTube channel. There'll be little things up there as well. And don't forget to rate and review us on anything that you listen to us on. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your grandma, tell your cat. play it from a rooftop. Play it as you walk through the park. Don't do that. Don't be that asshole.
Shout it to the rooftops.
Shout it from the rooftop.
Yeah.
I want people to shout the Fourtress of, but Fourtress is spelled Four.
Because it's 4 most of the time, except for today.
Sometimes there's 3, and sometimes there's 2, but there's mostly 4.
Thanks for listening, guys. If you want to follow me, you can check me out on Instagram at Alex is an Alien.
Thank you, Brian, for the art. Thank you, Alex, for the music. Thank you, Devin, for being a person that's on this podcast. And thank you, Jackie, for helping edit the podcast every week. We appreciate it from everyone. Happy holidays, everyone. Put a coat on. It's cold out there. And we'll see you here next week in another episode of Fourtress of.
Oh, Oscar, before I cut, Oscar, you need to know that I was clicking my pen a lot. This pen noise right here. So you're going to have to delete that. I'm sorry. I was really fidgety tonight. I'm cutting now. We will wash your clothes for you, yes.
Solitude.